Well, she's 45 years old, Darlington Raceway, and boy, is she tough as ever. That's when the first day she was built back in 1950. Great crowd on hand. Glad to have you with us as the green flag waves on the 45th Annual Southern 500. Jeff Bodine will lead the first lap as they are 3 wide, or almost 3 wide. Down there, Greg Sachs on the inside. Right behind him is Jeff Burton. Kenny Wallace driving the car number 28 also in there as they come rumbling out of turn 2.
On top of Morgan Shepherd's cars, he watched Jeff Burton, the Rebesta's car, going in turn 3.
You can see Kenny Wallace on the outside. That's Greg Sachs down on the inside, and Sachs makes the pass.
Sachs moves over. It looks like, well, no, I thought something was wrong with his car. He was just taking a strange line down the front straightaway.
Battle for second position. Ward Burton, the car number 31, the A.G. Dillardone car, trying to move to the inside of Kenny Schrader. Had the pass almost made in turn 2.
Well, he was in second. Schrader just passed him for that spot. On the outside through 1 and 2, Schrader's running high, Ned.
An unusual pass that you see somebody pass on the outside here at Darlington. Ward Burton had to give a little bit right there. They were told in the driver's meeting, guys, you got to give and take here on this racetrack. And Ward Burton did a little bit of giving there, letting Ken Schrader make the pass on the outside.
Riding along with Mark Martin in 5th position. That's the Meineke Chevrolet. Right in front of him, Joe Nemechek. Where's our point leader? Well, there he is, Dale Earnhardt.
On the outside of Labonte. And look, Todd Bodine gets the car out of shape. Looks like he and Michael Waltrip made some contacts. They came off the corner.
And that was right in front of Dale Earnhardt, something he doesn't want to see. If cars get in trouble in front of you on this racetrack, there's nowhere to go.
That black 32 car was Dick Trickle. Yet another paint job on that 32 car this year.
And we'll see if Mark Martin can make it stick on the inside this time in turn 2.
Yes, he does. Made the pass on Joe Nemechek. Takes over 4th position.
Let's watch. How many miles per hour? About 175 miles per hour down the back straightaway. And once again, the 28 car seems to be dropping back. Marty Reed, does he have a problem?
He says he does not have a problem. Check with Larry McReynolds. He's not complaining on the radio. They said they expected the Hoosier drivers to pull out from him, but they expect them to come back to him as the race progresses. No problem from here.
Well, a Hoosier driver leads it. That's Jeff Bodine, but a Goodyear shot Chevrolet is right behind him, and that is Kenny Schrader.
And Schrader is all over him. He has already looked a couple of times. He's looking again. No room there. Well, maybe. Nope. He's working on it. Ken Schrader wants to lead this race.
Let's see if he's going to pass him on the outside this time, Ned. I don't think so.
Huh?
Sure.
Maybe that was a decoy. He's going to try him on the inside now going into turn 3. He'll get him.
Schrader will make the pass on the bottom of the racetrack, and they nearly touch in turn 3.
I think they did touch, Jerry, just a little bit. Schrader thought he had him cleared. Jeff run on in there pretty strong. They touched a little bit, but no harm done.
And here comes Mark Martin at Valvoline Ford.
We'll watch again as they go into turn 3. Schrader on the inside. He thinks he has him cleared. See the right rear bumper of Schrader clips the left rear bumper of Jeff Bodine.
You're right, Ned. They did touch. Bodine must have jammed the brakes on it. That could have been a lot worse. Now you're watching what Mark Martin is seeing out of his windshield as he moves in now on Jeff Bodine for the 2nd position.
He will fall in 2, 3, and 4. This is coming off turn 4.
And Earnhardt trying to make a move. Real high on the racetrack is Greg Sachs. Earnhardt's been making passes on the outside, but now on his inside is the car number 75. Remember the last time those two cars got together 2 weeks ago in Michigan.
Yeah, they both wound up in the garage area, torn up. They remember that. They don't want that situation to happen here at Darlington. That's Todd Bodine in the Factory Store of America, the blue car, running right behind. And here's Mark Martin passing Jeff Bodine. Made it look easy.
Is there a problem with Jeff Bodine? We're going to wonder. His car now dropping back a little bit. Let's check in with John Kernan. John?
Jerry, the report down here in the pits, Jeff is radioed in, says that the car is feeling very loose. So when they make that mandatory stop, the mandatory caution comes out at lap 25, they're going to add air pressure in the right front tire.
Bill Elliott trying to get by Ward Burton, the Hardy's car, and he goes by. Here comes Rick Mast.
Now, Mast has the Hoosier tires also. Ward Burton, of course, has the Hoosier tires, but Mast was able to get on by.
Looking out back of Bill Elliott's Budweiser car.
1-2.
Here we go, Brad Bodine and Jeff Bodine. Side by side, the brothers Bodine going in turn 3. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte watching.
A lot of courage from Jeff Gordon to follow that duo in the corner.
Look at that pass by Jeff Gordon there.
Wow, what a move he made. He saw Brett go in there. He followed him right around. Knew Brett was going to slide up once he went in the turn, and he drove right over him. They get together, bump a little bit, and they spin.
Brett Bodine's car slides. You see those roof panels come open. Heavy contact with the retaining wall. Brett Bodine and Jeff Gordon coming together here on lap number 11 at Darlington.
Man, oh man. You're right, there's some heavy damage to that Quaker State Ford.
Caution flag being shown in the field for the first time today. Let's see what happened here just a moment ago.
Going in turn 3, this is really a gutsy move by Jeff Gordon. He gets alongside of Brett Bodine and really takes the line away, Nash.
Yes, he does. And Brett tries to stay out there, but Jeff makes the pass, gets out in front. His car gets a little loose coming off the turn, then gets tapped by the 26 car. He comes back into the 26 car of Brett Bodine, hits him, and spins him around. And Brett was very lucky not to get, he hit the wall. That's unlucky, but he was lucky not to get hit by another car.
Different angle this time, looking at it from a different camera.
Looks like Brent was trying to get back on the inside of Jeff Gordon and made just slight contact. And when Gordon comes off the wall, he has no control, touches that 26 in the right rear, and away he goes.
Well, we'll look from the blimp of the helicopter here. This is what happened. There you can see Jeff Gordon is in front of Brett Bodine, gets a little loose coming off the turn, but gets tapped a little bit by Bodine. Then as he comes off the wall, as Benny says, he comes down into Brett Bodine, spins him the wrong way up into the wall. Brett hits the wall hard with the front end of the Quaker State Ford, makes a 360. Everybody else is able to get by. And let's go to John Kernan and Dale Earnhardt's pits.
Well, the champion is on pit road. He's going to make some adjustments. They're going to take tape off the front grille, a round of wedge added to the left rear, and also they're going to take a rubber out. Earnhardt's car not handling the way he would like it to, and you can see he's had some contact out there on the racetrack with somebody, as you can see a tire mark on the left side. Now let's go up to Jeff Gordon's pit and Marty Reed.
I'll tell you what, there's some serious damage on the side here. It pushed in on the left front. You can see the crew, they're working to pull it off. They have changed the left side tires. Jeff almost stalls it, but he's back underway.
And also he hit with the right rear tire. I noticed that the right rear had some concrete dust on it as he came off in contact with the rear, so he might have knocked that rear housing over out of alignment on the 24.
No trouble on the early laps here at Darlington. We told you this racetrack is going to be tough to handle, and a couple of drivers have already learned a lesson. Jeff Gordon's damage on the left side, but the heavily damaged car of Brett Bodine has gone to the garage area. Back in a moment. Our Speed World coverage of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 being brought to you by Mountain Dew. Get vertical with the power of Mountain Dew. By Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. And by the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. Under caution here in Darlington, South Carolina. First incident of the day occurring on lap number 11 up in turn 4. Here again is what happened.
Brett Bodine passes his brother Jeff going in the third corner, and Jeff Gordon, as he goes up, dives underneath Brett Bodine. As they come off the corner, it looks like that the 24 might have gotten a little loose, or Brett was trying to get back under the 24. It's really hard to tell. Let's watch and see if the 24 does get loose. He's very low. Looks like he might have got just a little bit loose and had to squeeze out of the throttle. Brett Bodine makes contact with him. Jeff goes up, smacks the wall. When he comes off the wall, he hits the 26. And man, you're right, Ned. How in the world he was able to spin in front of all these cars and not get hit's amazing.
Very fortunate.
Let's take a look and see how Morgan Shepherd saw it from within the Citgo Ford.
His spotters.
Jerry wasn't able to see a whole lot there, but he saw enough to be able to drive through it.
Let's check in with John Curtin, who's caught up with Brett Bodine. John?
Jerry, as you can see, a lot of front-end damage to Brett Bodine's Quaker State Ford, the radiator, the oil cooler, the team working very hard trying to get it fixed to get Brett back out. Brett, it's a little hard to see exactly what happened on the tape, on the replays. What did happen?
It's my fault. I got in the back of Jeff coming off the corner. It looked like he got a little loose because he had to pass me up there in the middle of 3 and 4. And I just didn't get off the gas soon enough. I tried to check up, but I just touched him a little bit and got him out of shape. And then he ricocheted, I guess, off the wall and got in the side of me. I feel bad that I messed his car up. I hope he's all right. You know, I got what had coming to me. It was just all my fault. It wasn't that I was in a hurry. I just made a mistake, and that's what happens here at Darlington. I feel bad for my team at Quaker State. We had a good car and a good chance. Driver just made a mistake, and it cost us.
Well, they're working on the car right now to try and get him back up. Let's go up to Jeff Gordon pit with Marty Reed.
Thanks, John. This is the 4th time that Jeff Gordon is back in the pits. They think the Pannard bar may be out of whack. Benny, you may be right. He must have tagged it on the outside, and he's complaining about it being loose. They've also taken that left front fender and beat it up so that they could get it off of the tire.
Yeah, the Pannard bar is the bar that controls the rear housing back, and aligns the rear housing up. So if they bend that, the alignment would be the rear housing would be out of alignment.
How many professional athletes will admit that they made a mistake? That's very special about this sport. Back with more from Darlington Raceway in just a moment. And there's a tremendous look at this area of Darlington, South Carolina. Capacity, crowd on hand. We're in the early laps, and there's a look at the top 15. Kenny Schrader showing as our leader.
And none of these cars made a pit stop on the caution flag.
Excepting Earnhardt and some of those back in the pack. All of these up front did not make a pit stop. There will be a mandatory caution here a little bit later on.
Green flag waves here on lap number 20.
And Mark Martin's trying to get by Schrader for the lead coming off the second corner.
He's got a run on him on the inside. Schrader will have to back off going into the turn. Martin burned through. Well, he didn't back off much, did he? Stayed right out there.
Man, oh man.
Look at Bobby Labonte hanging right up there in the Maxwell House Pontiac. He had thought about going on the inside of Mark Martin, but that wasn't going to work.
And Elliott's on the outside of the 22 car. We have got ourselves a 2-groove racetrack today.
Three Fords first through 4th. As Schrader holds the lead, Martin, Elliott, and Labonte
Scrap 3 abreast. Ricky Rudd on the inside of the Burton brothers, Ward and Jeff, going into that turn.
Morgan Shepherd goes by.
There's Rusty Wallace behind him in the car number 2.
Earnhardt with those fresh tires is on the move. Harrigan also stopped and changed tires on the Skull Bandit. And he's alongside Kyle Petty and takes that spot away. Here goes Earnhardt alongside. Trying to get alongside Jeremy Mayfield, and does as Ted Musgrave goes by the Dick Trickle car.
There's Musgrave's Family Channel Ford. He's being now shown back in 22nd position with Gann in 23rd and Earnhardt in 24th. Heavy traffic back there, and now Earnhardt tries it on the high side of Harry Gann.
And goes by. New tires are such a premium here at this raceway. What do you think? Will Earnhardt stay out if they have the mandatory caution flag in, or will he come in again?
It'll be interesting to see if it comes out at 25 laps. Well, those new tires are working right now, but he's wearing the good off of those tires, and it doesn't take long until he'll be slowing down like everybody else.
And John Andretti in the 43 car, once again, he's driving for Richard Petty.
Harry Gann following Earnhardt. They now sit in 19th and 20th position in the field. Contact back there between the 77 and the 27.
Spencer got in the back of the 77 as he came off the second corner. I thought he was going to have some action that we don't want to see. Here comes Bobby Hamilton in the Kendall oil car.
He made a pit stop, put on new tires. Was able to drive right around Ted Musgrave. Ted watches him drive away. Well, they're on their 25th lap right now. We don't know if the caution that we had will affect that 25-lap caution they were going to throw.
So we'll just have to wait and see what NASCAR does.
NASCAR told them in the drivers' meeting the reason for the caution flag was they wanted to be able to check the tire wear. Safety is the #1 priority in NASCAR. There was a little bit of concern over the tire wear. It's not the tires, it's the racetrack. And you heard Dad and Vinny talk about at the beginning of today's show, the abrasiveness of this racetrack, which will be repaved very soon.
September the 12th. He's sitting over in Darlington, ready to go.
Back up front, Ken Schrader has begun to pull away a little bit as they wave the caution flag. That's Schrader to the left of your screen. Mark Martin and Bill Elliott back in second and third. And Earnhardt is going to race as much as he can back to this caution flag and gain some spots.
Earnhardt started almost last on the restart and worked his way up to about 15th. But once again, he had an advantage with the new tires.
From 42nd to 15th in 6 laps. And a tough racetrack.
And a tough racetrack. Once again, that shows you just how critical new tires are. The pace car pulls out, picks up Schrader. The pits will open, and there goes Schrader towards the pits to get his tires and maybe chassis adjustments. And we see all that oil dry on the racetrack. These fellas have to be very careful that they don't spin in that oil dry.
Let's check in the pits with Marty Reed.
Well, we're standing by with Ken Schrader as he pulls it in, and we'll get our first look at tires after a good long cycle. 25 laps. Of course, we did have a few laps of yellow, and it looks pretty good as far as the Goodyears are concerned. I see no blistering anywhere. Let's go further up pit lane to John Kerner.
Mark Martin has pulled in. They've already got right side tires changed. Left side tires going on. The left front tire is kind of hard to tell from here. Rusty Wallace a quick pit stop, and Kenny Schrader also a quick pit stop. But Mark Martin, after a chassis adjustment, is going to win the race off pit road, followed by Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Rick Mass, and Bobby Labonte. Let's get to the back pits and Bill Weber.
Well, the entire field is stopping back here. Todd Bodine is in. They're going for 4 tires on the Factory Stores of America Ford. Some of these drivers stopped earlier on lap 14. Right now, it's the rest of the field in for 4 tires. Sterling Marlin leads the drivers that are sitting on the backstretch. He was a quick 55 miles down pit road. The speed limit. Butch Miller is out of the way. Todd Bodine away. And the rest of the field heading out.
Michael Waltrip moves out in the Pennzoil car, and looks like he will be the first car of that group.
We might make mention, in all fairness, the pit clock stopped a little bit early on the Mark Martin pit stop. So actually, as far as the pit work was concerned, the 2 crew of those 3 you saw in the triple split pit stop there was the quickest among those pit stops. And we can show you what happens when you have a great pit stop. He went from 8th coming in when the caution came out to 4th on the racetrack. We're talking about Rusty Wallace. Under caution for the 2nd time today here in Darlington, South Carolina. Take a look at our pit summary there. Big gainers. Dale Earnhardt came in 13th and out in 7th. Rusty Wallace came in 8th. Cut that in half, came out in 4th position.
Schrader lost 1 spot, but the most important spot, he lost the lead on the exchange of pit stops.
Now, we told you Rusty Wallace had a great pit stop. Take a look from the crew cam viewpoint. What you're going to see here.
Brad Parrott has the camera on his head and changed the rear tire. Wow. Jumps back across the wall so the guy can go across and change the left side tire.
Let's check in with John Kernan.
Quick check on the tires. Jerry Mark Martin, whose car was very tight. The left front was about halfway worn out. Jeff Bodine, who's on the Hoosier tires, his left side tires after just 25 laps, completely worn.
Okay, the green flag waves. There'll be no more mandatory cautions. Rusty Wallace took a look out on the inside there, Jerry, but where to go there as he tried to look at Bill Elliott.
Earnhardt once again on the outside trying to get by Bobby Labonte.
Gordon Shepard looked, but he decided he better not go in on the outside there going into turn 3, which was a good smart move.
Now we can find that boost. Chassis work working, this car is good because all the cars now seem to be about equal as Rick Mast tried to get alongside Rusty Wallace. But Rusty realizes, and here Schrader is still running that high line even with the fresh tires and seems to be making it work very, very well for him.
That can really work well for him towards the end of the race, Benny.
Yes, when they start running by traffic, it will be very important.
And Dale Earnhardt has blown by the Rick Mast car to take the 5th spot away. He's shot by Mast in turn 3 just a moment ago and has moved to the rear deck of Rusty Wallace. Let's check in with John.
Jerry, you'll recall that Dale Earnhardt made some major adjustments when they pitted on that first corner when Brett Bodine crashed. After that, he said the car feels almost perfect. And changed position out on the track, Jerry.
Indeed, up front, Ken Schrader and Bill Elliott both have gone by Mark Martin to take the lead.
And Bill Elliott looking awfully racing today in that Budweiser Ford. Meanwhile, Earnhardt looks on the inside of Wallace, can't make the pass.
There's the points battle. Earnhardt, Wallace, and Mark Martin. Martin is in second place in the points in front of the other two leaders. Or the other point leader, Dale Earnhardt. Rusty Wallace is third in the points.
Here's a mess.
Wow. Kyle Petty making a 3 abreast going into the turn. And he gets right on in there. Joe Nemechek is on the inside. Here's another good battle up front.
Earnhardt and Mast get by Rusty Wallace. And also Bobby Labonte goes by.
What a run Bobby Labonte has had thus far. And then Maxwell House Pontiac. Good run for Bobby. Take a look from high above the racetrack. Bobby now trying to move in on Rick Mast. Earnhardt, meanwhile, has moved away by about 6 car lengths. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th you're seeing right there. And that's Rusty Wallace right in front of Morgan Shepherd.
There's old DW, Western Auto Chevrolet behind Morgan Shepherd.
Running in 9th place.
Darrell Waltrip, his 43rd race at Darlington. Take a look, he started back in 21st position, now being shown up in 9th position. In fact, Darrell's last victory, Winston Cup victory, came in this race 2 years ago, 60 races ago.
Michael Waltrip. Yeah, Michael Waltrip having a great run in the Pennzoil Pontiac has caught Jeff Bodine. They are running, Jeff is in 11th, and Michael Waltrip is 12th. Michael pitting on the backstretch. Benny pointed out he was the first one of those getting out of the pits on the backstretch, so his crew made a great pit stop.
And there's a car number 28, Robert Yates Racing Machine, Kenny Wallace. And the car number 15, Lake Speed, has made a good move. The Quality Care Ford.
Started 40th in this field. Started 40th. And is now up to 13th spot. So yes, Lake Speed, great run.
Remember, Lake's only Winston Cup victory came here in '88. There's his serial. Currently 13th.
And Michael Waltrip is going by Jeff Bodine as we see Kenny Wallace pull up on the back of Lake Speed. And here comes Kenny Wallace. Trying to look on the inside. Todd Bodine goes by Harry Gant.
That's 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Talking about Lake Speed, Kenny Wallace in 14th. Now trying to make it into 13th spot.
He might have him going into the turn, Jerry. He's up far enough that Lake will probably back off going into the turn. Lake Speed in the car number 15, yes indeed. And that allows Todd Bodine to come right on by as well.
And Harry Gant.
We'll see Jeff Burton has been able to get by Terry Labonte. Musgrave looked on the inside of Labonte, not able to make the pass. But meanwhile, Jeff Burton does go by Lake Speed. Here's Todd Bodine on the inside of Kenny Wallace. And he takes that spot away from Kenny.
You know, Todd was one of very few drivers, Benny, that made a fairly long run on Friday morning during the limited practice they had here. He had perhaps had a better feel of how his car was going to do than most of the drivers out there.
And here we see Bill Elliott has almost caught Kenny Schrader.
And Kenny Schrader, having led 28 of the 40 laps thus far here at Darlington, showing the way to Bill Elliott. Back with more in a moment. Back at Darlington Raceway here for the 45th annual Mountain Dew Southern 500. Bill Weber, Marty Reed, John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you the action from Darlington. By the way, Bob Jenkins, happy birthday, Bob. Not a good way to celebrate your birthday flat on your back with a herniated disc, but we wish you a speedy recovery. Get back to us very, very soon.
And while we were on, Bill Elliott was able to get by Kenny Schrader, take the lead, and now looks like Schrader, he's holding Schrader up. And Mark the two cars. I guess two's a group, is it, Ned?
Well, there's almost a group there because Martin makes it one, three of them.
Well, how did he make the pass a moment ago? Let's see if we can show you exactly what happened to Ken Schrader.
They came off the second corner, and it looked like Schrader got his car a little bit out of shape, and Elliott just simply pulled down to the inside, and away he went.
Yeah, he had a great run coming off the turn and cleared him easily going into the turn. But
oh, man! Schrader moved back up right in front of Mark Martin. Thank goodness Mark backed off the gas a little bit.
Harry Gant has just been in for a pit stop, change of tires.
As Mark Martin makes the pass on Ken Schrader coming out of turn 4. Loving this, and guys, you go ahead and mix it up back there. I'm just going to pull away a little bit. Schrader once again on the high side.
And I'm telling you, he is really working that high groove. And you know, he's the only, well, he's up as Michael Waltrip is up high down the corner. They need to get that groove worked out.
There's Earnhardt making a pass down on the inside of Ken Schrader. And there's Harry Gant. Of course, he just came out of the pits. We mentioned that he had been in, taking on 42 tires. So he'll pass that group of cars and drive right on by with those new tires. No problem. Harry is 2 laps down right now. Of course, if he passes the leader, he would hope for a caution. That way he would be able to get one of those laps back.
Move on Loy Allen, who's been shown in 40th position, and put him a lap down. That's the car number 19.
That was Bill Elliott and Mark Martin by Billy Standridge. Look at that car. His car was wiggling. Elliott's car got a little bit loose as he came off that 4th corner.
Just watching that in turn 1. Martin looks to the inside.
Elliott's car looked like pushed up a little bit, and Martin was able to drive right on by. And here comes Harry Gant with those fresh tires, and he's going to drive right on by. No problem for him.
I wonder if Elliott could feel the car out of turn 4, didn't maybe back off a little bit going into 1.
I'm sure he did not go down in 1 as he normally would, because you're right, he did feel the car. Let's see how fast he's running down the front straightaway. 170, did I say 78 or 9?
Yeah, so it's 179. Greg Saxon, he's another of those drivers running Hoosier tires. He's in for a pit stop. Okay. And let's go down to the pits and John Kernan.
Greg Sachs is in. It'll be a 4-tire change. The first of the Hoosier shot cars. Well, I guess Harry Gant was in just a few laps ago. So the second of the Hoosier cars to come in. They might be trying to pull a fast one on the Goodyear teams by pitting more often, being able to run faster out on the racetrack. We talked about build-up on the grill. It looked pretty good on Greg Sachs' car. Hey, maybe he's one of the teams using Crisco.
Well, there's a driver using Goodyear that's coming into the pits right now, John Kernan. Rusty Wallace is coming in a little bit earlier than we thought as the crew goes to work on him, as Earnhardt now has gotten up into 2nd place. Let's go to the pits and Marty Reed.
Well, we're going to find out just who's going to be the quickest in pit lane. They are going to make a 4-tire change. Another load of fuel. They have taken care of that front grille that John so explicitly described early in the show. They've got that cleaned up. Boy, he's out of here. 18.6. That's not their best.
But still a very good pit stop. He has to watch his speed going down pit road. It's 55 miles an hour before he can accelerate to full speed.
And there is some debris on the racetrack that some of the crews have commented. There goes Mark Martin by, our leader. Mark having won 5 of the past 6 events here at Darlington. Let's check in once again with John Kernan.
Jerry, this is the left front tire off Greg Sachs' car. You saw him just take on 4 tires. The left tire digs in the turns and it really wears him out. You can see where the cord is actually showing out. The left front tire in Greg Sachs' car completely worn out.
That's not good, and these drivers can really tell it because when it gets down the court, there's no grip whatsoever. The car just slides across the racetrack as Mark Martin goes by the Brad Teague automobile. And they threw the green back after that mandatory caution flag. They threw the green flag on lap 32, so Rusty Wallace was only able to get about 20 laps out of those tires. And Greg Sachs, he wore the tires out, and we saw it 20 laps.
Well, you just saw what's happening with tire wear, so pit stops can't be far away under the green flag. So we'll take a quick break and come back and catch those green flag pit stops here in the early laps at Darlington Raceway. Stay with us. Back at Darlington, South Carolina, Mark Martin squeezing up in front of Derek Cope, driving Bobby Allison's Straight Arrow sponsored Ford. He's a leader. There's Bill Elliott in second position. Dale Earnhardt is third, and Ken Schrader is fourth. We might mention some of those pit stops a little bit ago.
I thought that we were talking about tires wearing out, but the 2 car had a vibration that they changed 4 tires. Also, the 33 car said he had a vibration, then therefore they changed 4 tires. But the 77 car, we saw he stopped, and they did, in fact, have a worn-out tire.
And 2 other drivers that are using Hoosier tires are in the pits right now. Joe Nemechek in the Manheim Auto Chevrolet and the Festus Ford of Jeff Burton are both in the pits right now for 4 tire changes.
There you see Bill Elliott going by Dave Marcus, the Olive Garden. Mark Martin still our leader. They're second, third, fourth. Elliott, Earnhardt, and Schrader.
Well, Martin has a fairly comfortable lead there. You can see how far ahead he is. Out there running sort of by himself right now.
And Kyle Petty's in the back pits. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Tire change. It'll be a 4-tire change for the mellow yellow Pontiac. They're running a lower gear in this car, so Kyle's extremely quick on the faster tires. Dodson, they made a chassis adjustment during their first pit stop. They clean off the grill. Kyle's away. Behind him, Ford is in the pits for Mike Wallace. He had a good run yesterday, and the theory with that team is when Mike runs good on Saturday, he also runs good on Sunday. Also in the pits right now, Loy Allen Jr. Dale Jarrett's been complaining of a power steering problem. That's the story back here right now, Jerry.
And John Dawson was changing the right rear tire on the 42 car because Jim Sutton and his wife Diane had a baby boy last night.
All right.
He's not here today.
Congratulations.
And Ward Burton, another of the Hoosier drivers, is in the pits in the Hardy Chevrolet.
There's Rick Mass getting his tire change on the left side of his car.
And he too is running the Hoosier tires.
Everyone pitted on lap 26. They had the mandatory caution flag, and that was about 35 laps ago. That's about as far as they want to go. Here comes Bobby Labonte, the Maxwell House Pontiac, and Bill Davis and the crew will go to work on that car, and John Kernan is there.
It's a 4-tire change for Bobby Labonte. Talked to Bill Davis this morning. They're really pleased. Remember, they added some length to the nose and the rear deck of these Pontiacs, and they're really pleased with the way this car is running. But they do make an adjustment with air pressure here. The car has been running very, very tight. Left side still going on, making sure they get the grill cleaned off. Labonte is down and away.
And that's what John Kernan was talking about in his opening, trying to keep that grill on the clean of that rubber, those bits of rubber, because folks, when he gets in there, it jams that thing up. No air is able to get in and get to the radiator and cool the water.
There's our leader, Mark Martin, still looking for him to make an entry on the pit road, as we are for Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt and Ken Schrader, the top 4 cars.
These fellas right now look like they're struggling a little bit, trying to get around the racetrack. Working on eggshells.
Yep, they're slipping and sliding a little bit in the turns. You can see there how much of a lead Mark Martin has. Morgan Shepherd 5.5 seconds back in 5th place.
Here comes Kyle Petty with those fresh tires. He'll blow by all these cars.
Now Kyle is 2 laps down right now. He was almost a lap before he came into the pits and then lost a lap while he was in the pits. And boy, look how that car sticks to the inside with those new tires. We saw Hut Strickland down on the bottom of the screen. He was headed for the pits. He had just been lapped by Mark Martin.
And Rusty Wallace now being shown a lap down in 24th position. That's Rusty we're riding with right now, the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. He's trying to get himself on lap as he moves up on Dale Earnhardt.
Boy, he comes up in a hurry. Jeff Gordon is in the Chevrolet. He had been moving up through the pack. So a number of the Goodyear drivers in pits as well.
Now we see Rusty coming by Earnhardt. Takes that position away. Again, it's not a position. because Rusty did make his pit stop. He's a lap down.
He is about 15 car lengths behind our leader, and you see about 4 car lengths behind Elliott, making 3 car lengths. And as you watch him, he just goes by on the inside of Elliott. And here comes Earnhardt coming in to get himself some fresh rubber.
Well, he was seeing how easy it was for Rusty Wallace to catch up to him. And he said, man, I want some of those tires on this Goodwrench Chevrolet.
All right, that's about 35 laps. 35 laps since they're through the green flag. So that way we should be able to get a pretty good judge on how far the cars can go.
John Kernan is in the Earnhardt pit.
Jerry, remember they made that chassis adjustment on lap 12. Well, now they will make another chassis adjustment in that left rear, as it will be a 4-tire change for Andy Petrie and the crew. They'll also make a chassis adjustment on the right rear. So Earnhardt in for 4 tires and fuel. Of course, the fuel is already in. Dale Earnhardt is down and away a little over 18 seconds. Now Mark Martin and Bill Elliott head down pit road. Bill Elliott will be the first to hit his pit stall. Last time by, they took on 4 tires, took out a half a round of bike. This time they will take on 4 tires. No chassis adjustment as yet. Mark Martin's crew going to work on the right side. Mark Martin's crew will make a chassis adjustment. His car has been just a little bit tight, so they're going to loosen it up, taking a round to bite out. Left side's already on. Elliott, Mike Beam and the crew finally get the left tire. Elliott is down and away, but so is Mark Martin. Let's let the kid Schrader's leading Marty Reed.
Schrader to pull in here now as these guys are ready to go. What we've noticed, now Hoosier drivers on our end of pit lane made about 25 to 30 laps, depending on which team you are looking at. And the Goodyear guys are making up to 35 to 37. So on the first full run on green, looks like Goodyear's got the early advantage. Schrader, like everybody else, going to take a 4-tire change. And as I look at the tires that are coming off, everything looks to be okay. 18.2.
Morgan Shepherd, you can see going out of the pits, and Joe Nemechek comes into the pits.
That was a great pit stop by the Sitco crew, the Wood brothers.
Kenny Wallace is in, Ricky Rudd, Dick Trickle.
And Dick Trickle had a problem. He had to push his car. He was across the line.
He actually overshot his pits, and they were trying to get him to back up. They finally got him back up and got him into his pit stop.
Boy, that has cost him a lot of extra time. Trickle was running in the 9th position before he made this pit stop.
Joe Nemechek in the Meineke discount mufflers. He had slowed about 6 laps ago and made an unscheduled pit stop, and now he is back in, and apparently it is not just a tire problem.
Looks like it's an engine problem in the Meineke muffler car.
Here is Darrell Waltrip, the Western Auto Chevrolet. Pete Peterson and the crew. Clyde Booth, they're going to work on that car and will change all 4 tires.
Now, I think his brother, Michael Waltrip, had taken over the lead. Darrell was running in 2nd place. Let's go to the backstretch and Bill Weber.
Ned, we're waiting for the Pennzoil Pontiac of Michael Waltrip to come into the pits, down pit road, 55 miles an hour. And here comes Michael. He wanted to stay out as long as he could, so he will make a 4-tire change. Michael's got extremely strong runs here at Darlington. He's having another good one today. Of course, he battles that handicap of pitting on the backstretch. They're jacking up the left side of the car. Michael extremely close to the wall here. The tires go on. This stop seems to take an agonizingly long time, especially when you have to pit on the backstretch, and you really can't see your competitors that are pitting on the front stretch. Little problem with the left front. Michael sitting patiently, plenty of fuel in. There he goes. Over 28 seconds for Michael Waltrip. Not too good.
And one thing that really hurt him, Bill, as you pointed out, was the fact that he pulled the car in too close to the wall. That was a mistake on the driver there, that he just simply got in too close to the wall. They didn't have room to work.
You saw how that jack man was having to hill. He had about 3 feet to jack that handle. Whoa, as Michael nearly gets the car sideways, jumping back in the throttle, trying to catch up. And Rusty Wallace, by virtue of those pit stops, is back on the lead lap and is being shown as our leader. He has never won here at Darlington Raceway, but Wallace leads it here in the early laps. Back at Darlington Raceway, Rusty Wallace being shown as our leader here at lap number 76. Take a look at our Autolite field summary. Dale Earnhardt running in 2nd position. Martin, Elliott, and Shepherd rounding out the top 5.
Rusty Wallace is leading the race because he stopped a little earlier than the other cars. He was able to be out on the racetrack running faster. Now we can see Earnhardt, Martin, and Bill Elliott are catching Rusty Wallace as they go by Kyle Petty.
Kyle is a lap down. He has gotten back in the lead lap, but he is 1 lap down in 23rd position.
Remember how fast Kyle was about 10 laps ago with those fresh tires? Now it's the shoes on the other foot. Other cars have fresher tires. They zip right on by. Earnhardt and Martin in second and third position.
And what Mark Martin would like to do is pass Dale Earnhardt before they get to Rusty Wallace. They're going to be able to pass Rusty, and they want Earnhardt to do it because he gets 5 bonus points leading the race, and they would like to keep him from leading the race today.
What about Kenny Schrader, who had been one of the early leaders? You see Bill Elliott there right behind. Well, he's watching that battle between Martin and Earnhardt. There's Ken Schrader in car number 25, right behind Morgan Shepherd.
Earnhardt, he knows what's going on. He realizes he wants to catch Rusty Wallace first, so he's trying everything he can to keep Mark Martin behind him. Mark was able to get alongside him down the back straightaway, but Earnhardt ran him in that third corner, and Mark had to back out. Rusty is right in front of this trio.
There's Rusty Wallace. See him out way up in front there, out of the Bill Elliott windshield. There's Rusty, Earnhardt, Martin, and Elliott.
He's going to pass him. He did.
Now, Rusty had made his pit stop on lap 52. They're completing the 80th lap right now, so he's been on those tires for 28 laps. Big difference. These drivers have been on there for 10 or 12.
Right.
Elliott going by Rusty. Now Earnhardt, Ward Burton a lap down. That's Ward Burton's car right in front of Marty's Chevrolet. And apparently, John, the adjustment that made Earnhardt's car had worked. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, that car that Dale Earnhardt is driving today is a little over a year old, but it has not been to victory lane. He'd love to put it in here as Mark Martin dives down low as they head into turn 1. This was the same car they ran in the Brickyard 400. Remember, he tagged the wall, took it back to the shop. It was pretty beat up. They made some repairs to it, and they feel like they've got a shot to win today.
So Mark Martin, we saw just Earnhardt didn't really struggle with Mark Martin that time because he was able to lead that lap and get those 5 points. So he's happy right now. Now he's trying to worry about winning the race.
Now we'll see if Mark Martin can put Ward Burton a lap down. You're riding along with Bill Elliott. A moment ago, Rusty Wallace was going to get passed. You see this pass happening there. Watch Rusty's hand inside.
He's telling those guys to go on the inside, I guess, as he comes.
See his hand come out? He's saying, guys, I can't handle you going around.
Yep.
Hand signals are important in a lot of racetracks, but particularly at this racetrack.
At this racetrack. And Martin's having some problems getting by Ward Burton.
Yeah, Ward's trying to hang on, stay in the lead lap if he possibly can. Mark has been up beside him a time or two. Let's see if Ward races him into this turn.
He's in 23rd position, and he will go a lap down as Earnhardt now goes by Ward Burton.
As Martin was struggling with Ward Burton, Earnhardt was able to catch the Martin car, also Bill Elliott.
Let's check in once again on the Earnhardt pits with John Kernan.
Jerry, right now, Dale Earnhardt has radioed in and told Andy Petrie and the crew that the car has developed a push from the center of the corner to off the turns. Remember when they made their adjustments at the beginning of the race, the car was loose, but right now, it is pushing toward the turn.
There we see Jeff Burton, the Rebestas Ford, making a pit stop. Right side's been changed. Left side's going up. He was running in the 14th spot when he stopped. And that will be a lap down to the leaders.
That'll leave 21 cars in the lead lap. Dale Jarrett, you can see right there on the screen, is right in front of Mark Martin. He is running in 21st position.
That's a battle for second position. You're looking at there is Bill Elliott now will make the on the inside. You heard John Kernan's report about Earnhardt's car pushing into corners. Well, there's Earnhardt's car high on the racetrack. Bill Elliott took advantage of the car in the opening and took the position.
We're told that the Burton car had 28 laps, so it looks like the tire wear is getting just a little bit better. It went from about 22 laps up to 28 now.
Last lap for Earnhardt, a shade over 149 miles per hour.
Car crossed 65 or 66 miles per hour, which he qualified.
You wonder where Mark Martin is? We're going to show you. And folks, the news a year ago when Mark Martin took the lead, he led 178 of 351 race laps in last year's celebration. 351 laps because it was shortened by darkness, and that's where he is once again here at Darlington Raceway. The Valvoline Ford leading here at Darlington. Mark Martin. Back with more after this.
Kenny Schrader has taken over the 4th spot from Rusty Wallace. And we can see that Schrader is just driving away. So Rusty Wallace, who stopped early, will have to be stopping pretty soon again for tires.
Jeff Bodine just made a pit stop. He got 36 laps out of that last set of tires. Rick Mast comes in right now.
Rick Mast was running in the 7th spot. Here comes Rusty Wallace in the pits.
Let's go to John Curtin on Rick Mast pit.
It'll be a 4-tire change for Rick Mast. Right side's already on. This morning, this team made a complete chassis overhaul. Rick said what they tried to do was keep the wing off of the left front. They also make a chassis adjustment here on the right rear. Rick's down and away. Let's go to Marty Reed.
One full turn of wedge into the rear. They got a little bit of push, but they made 42 laps on this cycle of tires. So they've got to be feeling good. They came in at lap 51. It's now lap 93. He's down and away. 17.1. That's better than last time.
It's going to be very important to keep giving those 16, 17, 18-second pit stops. If this stays green flag and somebody has a problem like Mark Martin or Bill Elliott in pits has a 25, 20-second pit stop, we'll never see him again.
This morning down at the drivers meeting from some of the crew chiefs was that they would need possibly 14 sets of tires to finish the race today.
And you know what the problem there? The problem is most of these teams only have about 10, 11 sets of wheels. So if they have to go that last 3 or 4 sets, if they have to remount tires, the lug nuts are not going to have time to glue to the wheel. When they throw the tire up there, they're going to start falling off, and then the pit stop's going to be over 20 seconds.
Robert Yates told me that about $1,200 a set, you figured out from your calculator, you're talking about $14,400 in tires.
And Harry Gant is in the wall in turn 1, and the caution flag is out. The caution flag waves. And that's a bad break for Rusty Wallace, Jeff Bodine, those cars who just pitted.
And even a worse break for Harry Gant, who was hoping maybe to be able to pull some of that Darlington magic out, but he has tagged the concrete retaining wall, maybe trying to push those tires a little too far. Here again as the caution waves for the 3rd time today. Here again's what happened to Harry Gant.
Goes down in the corner, and we see he's right in front of Rusty Wallace. He goes in the corner, and the car just went straight ahead. It's like, you're right, like the right front tire went flat. Ooh, and Jimmy Spencer about ran over him.
Oh, he did. He did a great job of getting his McDonald's Ford turned left and not hitting here. Well, everybody will be in pits right now. They were welcoming this opportunity. Steve Brisson had just gone a lap down a couple of laps ago, so that's a bad break for me. Somebody else had just gone a lap down.
As you mentioned, that's a bad break for Rusty Wallace, who just made a pit stop, and now is being shown a lap down as they come down pit road. Riding along with Mark Martin. Let's check in now with John Curtin, who's waiting for the leaders' pit stops.
Well, Mark Martin would have pitted, was scheduled to pit in just 8 more laps here, 97 complete. Martin will be in for 4 tires. Checking up his build-up on his front grille. It doesn't look too bad. And they will make a chassis adjustment on Mark's car. It's been just a little bit tight all day long. On the right rear, another half-rounder wedge. Left-hand Nick Schrader is also on pit road for service.
We can see that Mark Martin wins, and Dale Earnhardt comes out second. It's Elliott, Schrader, and Morgan Shepherd.
Let's check with Bill Weber in the back pits. Bill?
Well, Todd Bodine is already in. Ted Musgrave is in. We're waiting for the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. Sterling Marlin rolls by in the Kodak Chevrolet. These will be all 4 tire stops. They're going to change the chassis setup of Michael Waltrip's car. He's had 2 off pit stops today. He apologized for the first one. He came in too hot. The second time, as we saw earlier, he took it too close to the wall. Again, they're burning up the left front. The left front tire's been the big problem with these cars back here. That Musgrave away, Sterling Marlin, and finally Michael Waltrip gets away.
You can see where they put that yellow tape box on pit road, so Michael knew where to put that left front tire to be able to have room to get the left side jack under it. Michael Waltrip had been running in 12th position. We are under caution for the third time today here at Darlington Raceway due to an incident out in turns 1 and 2 involving the veteran Harry Gant. Back with more in just a moment. Back at Darlington, South Carolina, the Mountain Dew Southern 500 under caution for the third time today. An incident up in turns 1 and 2 involving Harry Gant. What a battle we had on pit road.
Mark Martin, the Valvoline car, is going to be, but Schrader was the first car to move, but he was too far up pit road. As Earnhardt, who's pitting right down by the line, moves and goes across the line to take second spot.
They use that line as the marking point of how to line them up. So Earnhardt was the first one across the line by virtue of being the defending series champion.
He was the second across the line. Mark Martin was the first, but he was able to beat Schrader, Elliott, and Rusty Wallace did not pit. Now he has 3 or 4 laps on those tires, Ned. What do you think? Think he's used them up?
Well, he has used some of the newness up, and usually they'll slow down about a half a second a lap, but he should be able to start in front of the leaders, and even though he's almost a lap down.
Guys, we're here in Darlington, and not far away is Timminsville, South Carolina. There is no more feisty competitor in motorsports history than Cale Yarborough. He is the 5th all-time winner in NASCAR Winston Cup competition with 83 career victories. He has won more Southern 500s than any other driver, 5 times. And last night he went into the Hall of Fame.
This is where my racing career started, right here on this hill that runs right down by this place when I was 10 years old and was soapbox derby. And then they built the racetrack here, and everything else is history, I guess. But it's a pleasure for me to be here tonight to be inducted into the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame, and I want to thank the people who's made this honor happen.
There is definitely a Hall of Fame member, Ned.
Oh, no question about it. Great competitor.
He was tough, very, very tough competitor.
And there he is, the newest member of the NMPA Hall of Fame, up late last night being inducted and all the celebrations, and watching his car, the Fingerhut Ford, running back in 24th position with Jeremy Mayfield aboard.
Now we see Rusty Wallace and Rick Mast in car number 1 up in front of Mark Martin, who came out first. Mark Martin is leading the race. Rick Mast and Rusty Wallace are on the tail end of the lead lap. They chose not to pit here, but Mast is going the lap down there as he got boxed in. But Rusty Wallace is hoping for a caution here early on this restart, but he can get back in the lead lap. He's in the lead lap, but he can get going all the way around.
And now we see Mark Martin trying to catch Ward Burton. Burton trying to keep in the lead lap.
Actually, Ward Burton being shown 1 lap, now 2 laps down to the field. Let's check in with John Kearney.
Well, Jerry, on this last pit stop, I mentioned that Mark Martin's screw took about a half a round of wedge out to loosen the car up just a little bit. Mark came back and told Steve Meal on the radio, he said, guys, the car was just about perfect that last run, but I wanted you to take that wedge out just because I think it might tighten up later during this run. So these guys always thinking ahead, Mark Martin knowing how that car is going to react.
They are. Mark Martin awfully good on the chassis. Remember earlier we showed you an incident involving Jeff Gordon and Brett Bodine. Well, that Gordon car number 24 is now being shown incredibly many in 9th position.
On the lead lap, Ray Evernham and that crew, Jeff Gordon has done a great job in keeping the car going.
And I'm not sure we ever mentioned that Brett Bodine has gotten back in the race. He is many laps down. As a matter of fact, he's about 70 laps down, but Brett Bodine is back out there. Jeff Gordon made a lot of pit stops, but they're all under caution. So, well, I say all. He's made the same green flag pit stops that everyone else has made.
Back to Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace. We see that Ward Burton has been able to get by Rusty, and here goes Mark trying to put him a lap down. Rusty moves over and blocks that. He desperately wants to stay in front of Mark Martin.
They're just hoping that something will happen behind him, that a caution would come out and he'd get to go all the way around the racetrack. But as you said, Benny, those tires had 3 or 4 laps on them and not quite as fast, but he had to take that chance.
And meanwhile, Earnhardt is all over Mark Martin.
Earnhardt says, I'm not going to wait on you to pass him. If you can't pass him, I'll pass him. I'm not sure anybody can do it really well right now. He's just trying to stay put. He's in 17th position, the final car on the lead lap. Look at the Goodwin Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. Car number 75, Todd Bodine, going by Ricky Rudd in the car number 10.
6th position. There's Bobby Labonte in the Maxwell House Pontiac. He's right in that battle as well. He's being shown 8th. 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're seeing right there on the screen. There's Steve Grissom. He's a lap down.
Back up front, Mark Martin still working over the rear deck of Rusty Wallace. And we saw this happen last Saturday night, and it finished just like this, except Rusty went to victory lane, and Mark finished in 2nd position, about a car length and a half back.
And we talk about the rubber hitting the grill. See the rubber as it comes back off the 2-car and runs into the camera? See, as that spot of rubber, all that rubber goes and hits the grill, the screen on the grill, and sticks to it sometimes.
Where's the water coming from?
Yeah, there's a little moisture there now. Coming from somewhere, either the 31 or the 2-car there. They're the only ones out in front of Martin. Well, Martin wants to get by Rusty Wallace.
I don't know. Could Rusty Wallace's grill be plugged up? Could be overheating? Now you don't see any water in the corner.
Let's see on the straightaway if we begin to see something come out of the car. That's where we're seeing the water before. We see a little moisture coming out and on the screen of that camera. On the lens.
17 cars in the lead lap. Rusty Wallace is currently in 17th position.
In-car telemetry with the Valvoline Ford of Mark Martin.
Down the back straightaway, 175 miles an hour. So we can see that the front straightaway is a little faster. The pits are reporting that, and Rusty almost lost it coming off the 4th corner, got a little out of shape, and we saw how quickly that Mark Martin was able to catch him.
That Mark might have had to back off just a little bit to keep from running all over him.
Dale Earnhardt caught this group. Earnhardt had fallen back about 15, 20 car lengths, and now we can see he's right back on the back line.
Okay, she just joined us. Rusty Wallace trying to remain on the lead lap.
He had made a green flag pit stop. Then the caution came out 3 or 4 laps later, and that's why he's almost a lap down.
Mark Martin has won 5 of the last 6 times he's been in this race.
Pretty impressive. He won yesterday in the Gatorade 200, the Busch Grand National race.
I guess 3 of those were in Busch Grand National competition. He won an IROC race here back in the spring, and then, of course, won the Southern 500 a year ago. And finished 2nd to Dale Earnhardt here in the spring in the Winston Cup race.
Exactly. 5 out of 6 wins and a 2nd place finish in the other one. Not bad.
Heck of an average on this tough place.
There goes Earnhardt. Looks on the inside.
That don't look like a man racing for the championship. He's racing for the win.
But his car is pushing, as John Kernan reported, he's pushing off the corner, so he was not able to get back in that gas and turn the car away from Mark Martin, so he wisely backed out of the gas and let Martin go, rather than risk a collision coming off that corner.
But by Earnhardt racing Martin, that's given Rusty a chance to pull away a little bit.
That's exactly what Rusty Wallace wants to see.
Here's a battle between Sterling Marlin in the car number 4 and Darrell Waltrip in the Western Auto Chevrolet in 17.
It's 9th and 10th. Marlin running in 9th. And Darrell Waltrip in 10th. And there's the car number 24, Jeff Gordon. He has dropped back to 11th. Those cars got by him when I said earlier that he was in 9th position.
And Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace was able to get by him, and here comes Martin right on the back bumper now of Wallace. And again, Earnhardt still watching Elliott on the inside of Ward Burton.
Tim Schrader.
Behind him would be the car number 21 of Morgan Shepherd.
There was Rick in the picture. Rick is lap down. He's currently being shown in the 18th position.
There's Elliott and Schrader in 3rd and 4th. Still can't put Rusty Wallace a lap down. Rusty praying for a caution flag, but he needs it in a hurry because Mark is getting a little bit impatient.
And Mark goes alongside and puts him a lap down. Here comes Earnhardt.
Get by.
Signal again to Bill Elliott out the left side window. You saw that hand come out, indicating he wasn't going to pull that and block anyone.
And Lake Speed has a problem on the backstretch. Bill Weber.
Well, he's in there trying to add water to cool him off. His temperature running hot in the 15 car right now. They're trying to get water into that. Also, some reports that his tack was not working. Now he has shut it off. He's turned off the car, and this doesn't look good. Lake was having a good run, but right now sits quietly on pits road.
He was in 16th position on the lead lap before he came in, and here's Jeff Bodine coming in a little bit early. John Kernan, what do you think?
Ned, a couple of laps ago, Jeff Bodine said he felt a vibration. He thought he might have a tire problem, a tire going down. So right now, they're bringing the car in for a 4-tire change. They've only been running about 20 laps. Well, actually, they pitted on lap 97 under caution, so less than 20 laps under green. Left side tires going on. They also put some air pressure back in the right front, made a chassis adjustment on the left rear. Left side tires on for Jeff Bodine. The pulse meter is down at 20.4 seconds.
Well, the average for the Hoosier tire was about 20 to 25 laps, and Bodine went exactly 19 laps. So having pitted on lap 97, so that's just about the average. Battle here. Todd Bodine moving on the inside of Morgan Shepherd. He will take the 5th spot away.
That's one of those cars that Ned Jack mentioned. He practiced on Friday. He had about a 20-lap run and was able to get his car adjusted. Looks like a little bit better than some of the other cars.
You've seen some of the Hoosier cars pit. We should be about 6 or 7 laps away from the Goodyear tires pitting, which means our leaders will be coming in just a few moments. When we come back, we'll cover those green flag stops.
And Jeff Gordon just got hit in the left rear and almost wrecked that car again. He and Sterling Marlin made some contact coming off that second corner, and Jeff did a great job. Watch as they come off that second corner.
They were racing for 10th position. Marlin was 11th, and Gordon gets out of shape. That lets Marlin and Michael Waltrip go by.
Watch this as they come off the corner. We see, well, he's already been bumped by Sterling Marlin, and we see that Jeff did a great job in keeping that car in a straight line.
He must feel like a cue ball out there. He's already been tagged once by Brett Bodine, and now Sterling Marlin gets it.
Greg Sachs has just been in the U.S. Air Ford for a change of tires.
We saw our leader go by. Mark Martin there is second. Earnhardt third. Elliott and fourth. Ken Schrader.
Now here's Gordon trying to recoup the positions he lost a moment ago. He is back in the 12th position. The Pennzoil Pontiac in front of him. Michael Waltrip in 11th spot.
Coming up on Darren Coach, who is a lap down. He is in the 21st position.
Let's check in the pits with Marty Reed. Marty?
Well, guys, you were talking about Jeff Gordon and all the travails he's had. Talking to Ray Evernham before the race, they were just hoping that they could finish here. If you remember back in the spring, they finished 31st. I mean, the last 2 times they've been here, it's been like, just get us to the finish line. And that's really all their goal was today, was to make it to the finish line. And despite all the problems they've had, they've been making a pretty good run at this. They're still up in that, top 13, top 12?
Indeed they are. They're being shown in 12th position, Marty. And I think his best finish ever at Darlington was, 22nd or something? I mean, that's just, he has had absolutely no luck, but he has driven a whale of a race today, being bounced on by a couple of different cars.
And here's a car that is flying. Remember a couple of years ago, was it his first race here at this racetrack? He ran so well, his arm hit the battery cutoff and turned the car off. This 75 car might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Look, he's almost caught Rusty Wallace and appears to me to be gaining on Martin Martin, the leader.
That is Todd Bodine in the Factory Stores of America Ford, the Butch Mock Motorsports car. And Lake Speed apparently has climbed out of the Quality Care Ford number 15, and Bill Weber is with him.
Ned, that car sits behind the pit wall right now. Lake, what happened?
I'm not sure. I think the Ford Quality Care car may have dropped the valve. You know, we were moving up through the field real good. It come from 40th, I think 18th or something like that, and really just getting the car dialed in yet, and it was really handling good and driving good and running good, moving up through there, and all of a sudden after that restart there, it started skipping a little bit, missing, and I thought, well, maybe it's ignition box and switch ignitions, and that didn't fix it.
atmosphere gauges started getting real high, and we knew that something else was going on. So we came in trying to put some water in the car, and it wouldn't accept it. Usually when that's happened, something has happened with the piston that's got a hole in it, or something along that line is broken. The back pressure won't allow the engine to take the water in.
Lake speed done for the day. Let's go to John Kearney.
Rick Mast will pit. Remember last time he got caught because of the caution after running in the top 10 all day. He had lost a lap. Now there will be a 4-tire change for Mast. Not anticipating any chassis adjustment. He's been fairly happy with the way the car is run. Just a victim of circumstance. Now they will make a chassis adjustment on the right rear. Try to loosen the car up just a little bit. Rick Mast is down and away 18.3 seconds.
Great pit stop by the Stone crew. As Rick Mast leaves the pit area, he's got to stay down below that yellow line before he gets to the back straightaway. And here comes Todd Bodine.
Being shown in 5th position, the car number 75. Butch Mock owns the car. Troy Selberg is the crew chief. What a nice job they have done with Todd Bodine behind the wheel of that car. Moving up on Rusty Wallace.
Todd is in 5th place, and not far in front of Rusty Wallace is Bill Elliott, who's running 4th, and Dale Earnhardt, who is running 3rd.
And Elliott's going to make a move on Earnhardt's car bobbles a little bit coming off turn 2.
I don't know if we were able to see it, but we see that Elliott does go by. I don't know if we saw that we were interviewing Lake Speed, but Schrader passed Earnhardt on the outside up in the 1st and 2nd corner.
Now they all pitted on lap 97, so we're showing 130 laps, so they're about 7 laps away from what you might expect would be their pit window on these tires.
Jeff Burton is just going out of the pits right now on the way Vestas Ford.
As we watch all this, I'll tell you that Ted Musgrave in the Family Channel car looks like he's blown or something happened. Oh, something happened to the 6 car.
And possibly his tires may be going away. You talked about how quick Schrader was running. And the car number 75 has also made a pass, but Schrader is the leader. There's Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt. Todd Bodine has gotten around the lap car of Rusty Wallace, and so maybe the tires are wearing a little more significantly, Ned.
I would guess that Mark Martin was running faster than Schrader was pushing him, and he was running faster than he wanted to under the tires that are worn right now. So he just decided to move over and let him go till he could ride it out here. Pit stop's coming up before too long.
He'll be about 4 or 5 laps away from pit stop on this set of tires, so we will take a quick break and come back and catch the green flag stops from right here in Darlington in just a moment. Back at Darlington, South Carolina, 39-year-old Kenny Schrader driving the Kodiak Chevrolet. Car number 25 being shown as the leader, but pit stop should be just laps away. Here's Bill Elliott in 2nd position in the Budweiser Ford. And the car number 2 is on pit road. Here's Rusty Wallace, one of the first of the cars to make an entry onto the front stretch pit.
Now remember, he had about 4 laps on his tires. Did not, as we watch the crew cam, who is on Brad Parrott as he changes those tires, but Rusty just before the last caution. And so the others should be able to go a little further. However, Jeff Gordon is in the pits right now in the DuPont Chevrolet as he cleaned the grill. Buddy Parrott cleans the grill on Rusty Wallace's car, and he heads back out. And here is Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon being shown in 12th position. They've already changed right side tires. They will change left side tires now in the DuPont Chevrolet. There's Gordon's crew, Ray Evernham and company. 18 seconds as they get that car down and away. Waiting down the pit stops for Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt, as well as Mark Martin. In fact, Martin has faded a little bit. Apparently, as you said, Ned, he has backed off, trying to get as much as he can get out of those tires.
I'm sure once we see Schrader come in that, in fact, Mark Martin might be the one that'll force the issue and come in first.
And Earnhardt, what happened?
Earnhardt, did he slow down to come in the pits and maybe was going too fast? I don't know. Something is definitely off the pace a little there.
Now he's accelerating like exactly right, Ned, that you're right. That he started down pit road and evidently got the car out of shape or was going too fast and decided to make another lap.
Well, it cost him some extra seconds as Bobby Labonte, who was running in the 9th position, is in the pits. Ricky Rudd now trying to go by Earnhardt. Let's see if Earnhardt comes in this time. Mark Martin is going to come in.
And Martin does peel off as Earnhardt stays on the racetrack. There's Mark Martin's valvoline for the defending champion of the Southern 500. We'll bring that car down to Steve Mill and the crew as Bobby Labonte leaves the pits, having completed his service. Let's check in now with John Kearney.
Well, remember we told you that Mark had him take a round to bite out last time because he thought the car might tighten up. Well, the car has gotten loose on him. So it'll be a 4-tire change also. They'll add 1 round of bite. As the rinse comes over, the gasoline going in. Jack getting ready to go under the left side. There's the adjustment in that right rear tire. Also, Dale Earnhardt making an entry onto pit road. Mark Martin is down away after a pretty good pit stop.
There's Earnhardt as he comes down pit road. And his car was slowing dramatically. I guess it wasn't, just the tires worn out. We'll see.
John Kernan is in the Earnhardt pit.
Well, the last time when you saw Earnhardt slow down, he was blocked. He couldn't get in because of the 22 cars. What he was told Andy Petrie and the crew. Right side tires already changed. There's the chassis adjustment on the right rear. That car has been tight. Very tight the second part of this race. Now we're also looking at Todd Bodine coming in the back pits as Dale Earnhardt has completed his stop. He's down and away. Bill Elliott.
And the leader is on pit road, Ken Schrader. They've already changed right side tires on Schrader. Now Ken Howes and company go around to the left side of that car.
Now the left side going on.
Morgan Shepherd is pitting right in front of him. Good pit stop for Ken Schrader, the Kodiak team. There you see Morgan Shepherd, Bill Elliott down there in the Budweiser Ford. On the top of your screen is Ricky Rudd in the Time Ford. All of these regularly scheduled pit stops.
There's Morgan Shepherd. You see him concentrating, changing gears, coming down pit road, making sure he glances down at that tachometer to keep it at 55 miles per hour by using the RPM.
We saw him put down his visor to keep the debris out of his face.
Darrell Waltrip being shown as our leader as the car number 6 has now gone around the 17 after having those fresh tires put on.
And that should have put Mark Martin back in the lead lap. And Ricky Rudd has moved up to second in the Kellogg Chevrolet, but he is in the pits right now. Darrell, you can see that Earnhardt has on and that Mark Martin had on. They're able just to move right on around Darrell Waltrip at will. He doesn't want to stay out there too long because he's losing a couple of seconds. Look how high his car pushes in the turn. And Jeff Gordon will have himself a good track position here. He was the first, one of the first ones to come in. So he's been out there running for a number of laps on the newer tires. Now is DW coming in as Todd Bodine goes by.
Yes, he is.
Darrell coming in right now.
Darrell Waltrip, a 5-time winner here at Darlington. Only once has he gone to victory lane here in the Southern 500. And that was 2 years ago. Marty Reed is in his pit.
Darrell Waltrip quietly and cautiously has taken over the lead through the cycle, and they are in for a 4-tire change. You know, it's interesting. You mentioned the fact that this is the one track where he won last. 84 career wins, and boy, wouldn't it be sweet for his team if they could put it together today. A lot of tough competition. So far, these guys making the 4-tire change, and he's out of here. Good stop.
18.8 seconds. Darrell Waltrip had 4 consecutive top 10 finishes. That team has really come together in the past month and a half.
And Pete Peterson over there is the crew chief. He's right as went over. He's the associate crew
Chief mechanic, they told me, is Pete's title.
And all of this, after all these pit stops, that good pit stop by Ken Schrader and the Kodiak team has put him back in the lead.
And behind the wall, unfortunately, one of the Roush Racing cars, the Family Channel entry for Ted Musgrave. And Bill, what's the problem?
Well, we can ask Ted Musgrave. He's sitting here patiently. Ted, I know you're disappointed. What happened?
Well, believe it or not, our luck hasn't changed yet. You know, it looks like we blew a freeze plug out of the engine block and lost the water. So it just happens to be in a hard place to get after to see if they can take the oil pump off and fix this car and get back out there, because it was running good. We're running for points. So it's just a shame. These guys worked hard on this car.
The always cordial Ted Musgrave behind the wall in the Family Channel Ford.
Robin Pemberton and company there trying to determine if they can make any adjustments on the car to get it back on the racetrack.
Here we go again. Denny Schrader trying to put Rusty Wallace a lap down.
Now, you can see before the pits how fast they were running is 10 miles an hour. New tires means 10 miles an hour. Now you wonder, how did Rusty Wallace get back in front of Kenny Schrader when Kenny Schrader made such a great pit stop? Well, Rusty made his pit stop 4 or 5 laps sooner. So he was out there running a couple of laps 10 miles an hour faster, as a matter of fact, and that allowed him to get some distance. And now his tires are beginning to get worn a little bit. Kenny's are still a little bit fresher as Greg Sachs comes into the pits. Out there trying to put a lap on him, but Rusty Good strategy there coming in, and got back in the lead lap momentarily. Here's Morgan Shepherd and Jeff Gordon going at it.
Jeff Gordon, another car who stopped a little early and was able to get out there and run 2 or 3 laps with those fresh tires and get some distance on the 24 car. And Wayne Schrader trying hard, and he's on the inside of Rusty. He might put him a lap down as they go down the back straightaway.
There had been 15 cars in the lead lap. Now make that 14 with Rusty Wallace going a lap down, and that would leave the 28. Kenny Wallace is the final car in the lead lap in 14th position. As they push the Dick Trickle car behind the wall back to the garage area. 150 laps here at Darlington in the books, and Kenny Schrader is showing the way. Back with more from the track Too Tough to Tame after this. Beautiful day for racing here in Darlington, South Carolina. Tremendous crowd on hand, and coming up next, Shop Talk with Coach Joe Gibbs, former Washington Redskins head coach and now NASCAR Winston Cup car owner. He'll be Eli Gold's guest on Shop Talk, and that's coming up at the conclusion of today's Mountain Dew Southern 500.
And Todd Bodine had a great run going. He's now going to the pits on the back straightaways. The car started smoking, and they're telling him to take the car behind the wall. The car was running okay. It's like he blew an oil line off or something.
That was a tough break for him. And Bill Weber's back there. Bill, you got any indication of what's going on?
Well, apparently he radioed in that his oil pressure went away. He'd been running well. In fact, I just finished talking to Troy Selberg and the car owner Butch Mock. They've done nothing all day, just read off lap times to time. The car had been perfect up until this point. They're working on it. They're under the hood, and we'll try and get a word with Todd here in just a moment. He's been having a great run and a great season. This is a huge disappointment for this team.
That's Butch Mock, the car owner there, looking underneath the hood. As you watch Sterling Marlin now in the car number 4 go beneath the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. That is for the 9th position.
They've been racing together about all day, those 2 yellow cars. They're both pitting on the backstretch. Good runs, though, in the lead lap. There's Greg Sachs in car number 77 right behind him. Greg has made a lot of pit stops. He's 4 laps down in 31st place. While we were away on break, Jeff Bodine made a pit stop for a change of 4 tires.
And Dale Earnhardt has passed Mark Martin. It looks like Mark is starting to lose the handle just a little bit on that Babylon Ford.
That's for 3rd position as they are moving in now on John Andretti driving the STP Pontiac of Richard Petty. And then Andretti driving that car for the 3rd event, starting out in Michigan, over at Bristol, and here at Darlington as Earnhardt now makes the pass on the inside of Andretti.
And we still don't know 24th position. And we still don't know who's going to drive the 43 car in Richmond next week.
It's a week-by-week situation. I'm told they have a committee meeting on Monday and sort of decide with John Andretti involved.
I wonder if they take the holiday. Tomorrow's a holiday, Labor Day. You guess they'll meet tomorrow?
I imagine they will.
Yeah, they probably will.
Because they got to make that decision pretty soon to get whoever's going to drive his seat in the car.
Our Autolite field summary showing Ken Schrader, Elliott, Earnhardt, Martin, and Shepherd.
Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte, a couple of a Ford and a Pontiac, 7th and 8th.
Ricky Rudd, who young son Landon Lee is now, what, 8 days old? Born last Friday, make it 9 days old. Wife Linda watching at home with their nine-day-old son.
And we can see where these cars, Ricky Rudd running through the bottom of the 1 and 2. Bobby Labonte about the middle. Schrader, our leader, is running extremely high and has been all day around this racetrack.
Can't say enough about Bobby Labonte and that Maxwell House team, Bill Davis Racing. They lose their sponsorship at the end of this year, and what a run they had the past few weeks.
They're running like they want a new sponsor, aren't they, Jerry?
I would say so. I spoke to Bill Davis, said they may be close, maybe within a week or so, and possibly nailing something down for next year. And certainly that's a very, very promising up-and-coming Winston Cup race team.
And Bobby Labonte his name has been mentioned, the possibility of going to other teams. He told me on Friday, said if we find a sponsor, said I'm not going either. Said the team is on the rise. Said some of those that are asking me to possibly drive their race cars, said they seem to sort of be on a level plane. He said this team is moving up, and he said I want to stay with them if we find that sponsorship. I bet they'll do it.
Now we see the 4 car is called Labonte, the Kodak Film Chevrolet. You know, and the 4 car is going for a $100,000 bonus, as well as Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. I don't think we've mentioned that today.
That's right, the Winston Select $100,000 bonus.
Let's check in the pits with Marty Reed. Marty?
Well, guys, keep your eye on Bobby Labonte in the 22. We've heard some conversation on the radio about some smoke coming out of the exhaust. Nothing confirmed yet from the team, but you've got a better view of it than we do.
Well, he's about to be passed right now, Marty, as both the 4 and 30 cars behind him, Sterling Marlin and Michael Waltrip, trying to take the spot away, as he is now in 8th position, and the 9th place car will take the spot. And Bill Davis is sitting there watching his car lose 2 spots. Let's check in that pits.
Bill, we got to report some smoke maybe coming out of the exhaust on your car. Is there a problem?
If there is, we don't know about it. So far, the Maxwell House Pontiac's fine. It's real tight. You know, doesn't want to turn. But NASCAR mentioned the smoke test, but Bobby hadn't said a thing. The gauges seem okay, so for now, we're just digging.
Well, the only problem, car just a little bit tight, guys.
Now, you can speculate and say that the car is tight. Maybe it's tire smoke.
No, these tires don't smoke, Jerry. The only way they smoke is when they rub the fenders.
Well, maybe he's got a fender rub.
He might have a fender rub. He might have grazed the wall someplace and have a fender rubbing.
Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, standing back here behind the wall on the backstretch, Todd, a great run, a championship performance by your team here trying to get you back out. What happened?
Well, it's one of those things again, another oil fitting. This time it's a different one. It's a main feed line on an oil pump. We just can't catch a break with these oil fittings. That's the 3rd time it's taken us out of a good run. But, you know, the factory stores at Adidas Ford was handling great. We had the guys been working on the pit stops. We had great pit stops that kept us up front. You know, everything was going right, and we were just trying to ride there, top 5, wait for the end of the race and race them. And, you know, we didn't get there. But, you know, they have got another race next week at Richmond. We'll get them up there.
How quick could you feel the tires go away, Todd?
Well, I give them a half a lap, and they're hard to hang on to. It's pretty slick once you get running. They last probably 5 or 6 laps. Then it's the best balanced car is what ends up being the fastest. And we had a really well balanced car. You know, in practice, most guys only ran 3 or 4 laps. We ran 23 laps. That was the whole idea. We knew it was going to rain. We wanted to get some time on the car and get it balanced, and it paid off for us. But, we'll be back next week.
That's a lot of talent sitting there. His first win isn't far away, but it's not today.
Half a lap, huh?
That's pretty scary, isn't it?
Larry McReynolds told me these tires go away so fast that he didn't want to even roll them from the garage to the pit road. He said you'll lose about 3 laps if you roll them out there. You got to put them on the front and carry them out. Obviously, he was joking, but that's a pretty serious problem.
Well, as Benny says, that the racing surface is very abrasive. They're going to correct that, though, next week.
And let's see if we can find our leader, Kenny Schrader.
I tell you what, everybody's looking for that guy because he is going off into the sunset.
He has led 65 of 165 laps, and there's Kenny Schrader. Last time he led over 10 laps in a race was a year ago. Actually, it was September of 1993 at Dover, Delaware. There's Kenny Schrader driving the Kodiak Chevrolet as we approach the halfway point here at Darlington. And that's a beautiful shot from that helicopter above Darlington Raceway. Got a little trivia question for you race fans at home. Now, who holds the biggest margin of victory in the Southern 500? We're going to give you a couple minutes to think about it. Who had the largest margin of victory in the Southern 500?
I know the answer, but I won't squeal.
I do too, and I didn't cheat. I knew it when the question came up. And we'll let you know in just a moment, so think about that.
And we'll tell you it was more than 10 laps.
That was remarkable in and of itself.
Yes, it was. There's Schrader.
Oh, Kenny Schrader.
Oh, and the 29 car almost lost control right beside, I believe, that's Steve Grissom in the 29, almost lost control.
Gotta wonder if he's got a tire going down in that car number 29, Chevrolet Aluminum.
He probably saw Schrader going through there so fast, thought he could do it, and got a little out of shape. That's Jeremy Mayfield right behind Grissom. The 98 car, the Fingerhut car.
Those cars just went 2 laps down. They're running 16th and 17th.
All right, there's Jeremy Mayfield in-car camera. Now, we're going to show you the trivia question once again. Who holds the biggest margin of victory in the Southern 500? And John Kernan, do you know?
I'm going to make a guess, but usually these questions involve one of our announcers. So I think I'll say Ned Jarrett.
Marty, what's your guess?
I'll tell you what, this is a definite disadvantage, guys. I'll have to go with Cale Yarborough.
All right. Bill Weber?
Well, I have a pretty good guess, but it's because he reminds me about it every week. I'll take Ned.
All right, we got 2 votes for Ned, 1 for Cale. Benny?
It was Ned Jarrett.
Exactly. It was our Ned Jarrett, 1965, a winner by 14 laps. And Ned, you beat Buck Baker by 14 laps in 1965 Ford, and that in itself was a whale of a feat.
Boy, I was getting it that day, wasn't it?
You indeed you were. How'd you do that?
Well, it's obvious that everyone had trouble. And even myself had trouble that day, but I didn't outrun them by that big of a margin. But most of the cars were overheating. The things that we've been talking about here today, we had the same problems back in 1965 with the rubber coming off the tires, getting in the grill and into the radiator, overheating the cars, and everybody had that problem that day, including me, who were able to nurse our car home for the victory.
It looks like Mark Martin might be able to get in a handle back just a little bit on the Valvoline Ford as he goes by Earnhardt to take over that 3rd spot.
Once again, Kenny Schrader is our leader. Bill Elliott's in 2nd position. We'll show you the interval there back to Martin and Earnhardt, about 8.5 seconds. Morgan Shepherd is 15 seconds back in 5th position.
As Martin went by, we saw Brad T going to the pits on the back straightaway.
And we are told we'll see the leaders on pit road in about 4 or 5 laps.
Well, Jeff Gordon's coming in right now. Dale Jarrett's in the pits on the backstretch. So pit stop's coming up right here as Gordon slides into his pits. They'll make a 4-tire change, clean the windshield for him, clean off the grill, and a lot of other things, Marty.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with this team. They have not given up since the very first incident that brought out the yellow when Bodine got into Jeff. And, I mean, these guys, look at this. This is a great stop. Another one.
Indeed, he was being shown in 11th spot as here is Kenny Wallace in the car number 28. He is a lap down. So you're watching that crew, Larry McReynolds and company. Kenny, of course, subbing for the injured Ernie Irvin. They clean the windshield. Right side tires already having gone on the car number 28. Now these cars, the 24 car of Gordon and the 28 of Wallace, actually pitted about 3 laps before the other lead cars came in on the previous stop, so that's a normal sequence.
Terry Labonte, who was running in the 12th position, he was the last of the cars on the lead lap is in the Kellogg Cornflakes Chevrolet.
See Kenny Wallace head back on the racetrack.
Here comes Bobby Labonte, the Maxwell House Pontiac down pit road. Oh, he's slow. He's down to that smoke they're talking about. We see some smoke now coming out the exhaust pipe, and there's something definitely wrong with the engine.
Look at that grill in the front of his car. We got a shot a minute ago of the grill. It was totally covered in rubber. Let's check in their pits with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, that apparently is a problem. They burned a piston. We just talked to Bill Davis about, what, 10 laps ago? He said they didn't know of any problem. All the gauges were the same. Well, just a few laps ago, the temperature gauge, water temperature gauge, started climbing. It was up to 225, and Bobby then radioed in and said, you know, we might have a problem after all. And it looks like they are done for the day. And you've never seen a more dejected crew here on pit road.
Well, they had a great run going. Look at that grill, fellas. Look at the amount of rubber that is in there, which really, it's almost, what, 30 or 40%, which shuts off the air going into the engine compartment. And that could be part of the problem as Bobby Labonte coasts down into the pits. They'll take a look at it. If there's anything they can do, they'll get him back out there and running as much as he possibly can. John Kernan?
Yes, you can see the smoke coming from the exhaust as Bobby revs the engine. They're looking in. They're thinking either a burned piston, possibly a dropped valve, but they're not in any big hurry right now as the crew, Chris Hussey and the crew, looks over. They'll put the hood back down on the car. It doesn't look very good for the Maxwell House Pontiac team.
Bobby Labonte's best finish coming a couple of weeks ago up at Michigan. You saw Steve Mill a minute ago walk up there, pardon me, and he apparently is worried about, there's Steve Mill standing on the right of your screen. His driver, Mark Martin, is pitting right next to that car. He's trying to say, hey guys, I want to let you know my driver is going to be coming in. I'll even help you a little bit.
Yeah, he goes out there, moves that tire away. He doesn't want anything in the way of Mark Martin when he does come into the pits. He knows it won't be long before he'll be in. Jeff Bodine is coming down pit road once again in the Exide Batteries Ford. Bobby Labonte, this is service and goes back out. I don't think he's going to be a major factor, though. That thing's not going to be running up the car as Bodine does come into the pits.
Bodine is 3 laps down, back in 22nd position. Here is Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford Thunderbird, the defending winner of this event, back in 3rd spot. Expecting him on pit road momentarily. And Dale Earnhardt has made a decision, we are told, to pit as he comes down pit road, and Rusty Wallace, who is being shown a lap down in 10th position. Here's Earnhardt. It was the 4th place car, brings the Goodrich Chevrolet down at 55 miles per hour for his scheduled stop. Let's go to John Curtis.
Well, remember we told you that Earnhardt's car had been tight. He is in now for a 4-tire change. They should make a chassis adjustment, trying to loosen that car up just a little bit. Rusty Wallace, he's down and away, headed down pit road. Let's see if Earnhardt's guys can finish the work before Rusty beats him off pit road. It doesn't look like it. Rusty Wallace going to beat Dale Earnhardt out. But of course, Rusty a lap down. Dale Earnhardt gets his service completed, is down and away. Mark Martin who's been running in the 3rd position right now, pulls in. It'll be a half around a wedge. The car has loosened up, so it'll be 4-tire change for Mark Martin. Steve Neal and the crew working on the right side. Here comes the leader, Kenny Schrader, down on pit road. Right side work already completed on Mark Martin. Left side's now getting pulled off, ready to go on as Schrader pulls it to his pit stall. They make the adjustment on Mark Martin's car. Let's go to Schrader's pit and Marty Reed.
Well, could this be the day for the Kodiak team and Ken Schrader? In 19 prior races, the best he's ever finished here is 3rd. This will be a 4-tire change. A little bit of smoke coming out of that front of the radiator, but no reports that he's running hot. They are cleaning off that front grill work, and then he's out here. What a great stop. He's on his way. Let's go to John.
Well, as Ken Schrader leaves, Bill Elliott's crew is hard at work. They've already taken off. They've already completed the right side change. Left sides are down. They clean all the rubber off the grill, and there's a crash out on the racetrack.
Sterling Marlin has spun his car in turn 2, the car number 4, the Kodiak Chevrolet, and as of yet, we do not see a caution flag. He spun the car, got the car rotted down off the racetrack, and we have not. Yes, we have.
Here's the problem. Jimmy Spencer has hit the wall here on the front straightaway, so caution is out now.
So 2 cars having spun. They were just trying to give the halfway signal. Lap 184. There is Spencer's car, the McDonald's Ford Thunderbird. Come to rest against the front stretch wall as these cars now trying to see Spencer. Close call there, Darrell Waltrip and Greg Saxon. Here's what happened a moment ago to the 4 car over in turn 2.
Comes off the corner, and he was trying to get in the... Oh, I'm sorry. It looked like he got bumped from behind.
He might have been slowing down to go in the pits. I don't know, but he got bumped and spun around. But, you know, he kept going. No problem there. Everything was all right. But then, all of a sudden, here on the front straightaway, Jimmy Spencer gets into the wall. Let's see if we can see what happens there. There he is coming off of the turn up there. Now, whether he and that's Jeff Gordon down on the inside, whether they made contact, don't know. But Jimmy Spencer in the McDonald Ford slides across the start-finish line crossways.
Spencer crawls out of the 27, waves to the crowd.
And Bill, what happened to the car number 4, Sterling Marlin?
Well, Jerry, Michael, and Sterling were getting ready to pit together on the backstretch. They'd been running several laps, bumper to bumper, and then they were coming in together. Tony Glover kept waiting for his car to come in. He never came in, and then they were as surprised as anyone else when the caution came out. Meanwhile, Michael Waltrip did come down pit road, and Michael Waltrip ran over his air gun. He didn't stop. He ran over the gun, then came to a stop. His crew couldn't do anything. Michael went on back out. Meanwhile, Sterling Marlin has just moved into the lead. I'm here with Tony Glover. I'm going to see if I can get a word. Tony, what happened out there?
I ain't got no idea. I think a slow car turned just trying to get into the pits, and you know, luckily we didn't lose a lap, and you know, everybody else pitted, so it made us the leader, so it worked out okay.
Well, a unique brand of strategy. Tony Glover, the crew chief on the Kodak Chevrolet. Not exactly what they had in mind, but some days you never know here at Darlington.
How many times can you make a 360 spin out and be leading the
and
race?
take the lead?
Yeah,
by doing that.
He should have spun earlier. Let's take a look again and see exactly what happened, if we can, over in turn 2.
We see Michael Waltrip going in the pits. That's the yellow car on the very left of the screen. He's going in the pits. Now there's Bobby Labonte in the 22 car. They're smoking, and our tape machine is stuck, so in a minute we'll show you what happened.
And Sterling Marlin is our leader in the Kodak Film Chevrolet. So you spin, and hey, Danny Sullivan did it a few years ago in Indianapolis. He spun and won, and now Sterling Marlin being shown as our leader here in Darlington. See all the transporters sitting down there in the garage area? They park so tightly and so closely together, it takes a tremendous amount of talent to be able to get those trucks backed in week after week, loaded and unloaded just inches apart. Well, a very important competition takes place in NASCAR each year. It's the Mayflower Truck Drivers Challenge, and the fourth and final round took place here today. Early in the week, under the cover of darkness, the Winston Cup
Clean run. Did it, Rodney. All right.
Whew. Glad that's over.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Clean, man. 1:11:22.
All right, Jeff.
1:11:22. What a run.
Great run, and Rodney Fickler started driving a truck for Benny Parsons back in 1978.
And Benny, 52-year-old Rodney Pickler wins the overall Mayflower Truck Driver Challenge and the $15,000 prize. And you know, these guys really are the unsung heroes of the NASCAR crews. They log about 50,000 miles a year in those trucks, and along with the fact that they have a full-time job when they get to the racetrack. Some of them are gasmen, some of them are utility guys with tires. They stay very, very busy.
Very busy, and during the week they keep those trucks loaded up with everything they need during the weekend when at the racetrack. And Michael Waltrip is overheating.
And Bill, he's right in front of you.
This is his fourth pit stop during this caution period. He came in once, ran over the air gun, then he came back in. The third time he came back in, they threw up the hood. Michael's reporting his temperature's 250 degrees. They're trying to get water into there. They cleaned off the grill. He was 10th when all this started, having a great run. Now the hood goes down again. They'll put in those hood pins, but it has been a disappointing number of laps here for Michael Waltrip. And now the car has stalled back here on pit road. The car has stalled, and the hood will go back up. So we'll try and get an update here. They're going to try and push him and see if they can't get him started here. Michael Waltrip was having a great day, but right now the Pennzoil Pontiac slowly being pushed off pit road, hoping to get it restarted and get back into the Mountain Dew Southern 500. He goes off pit road.
He was being shown in 10th position, Bill, back there. And the car number 22, another Pontiac, also overheating, and he has gone behind the wall. We are told they're going to change the radiator in the Maxwell House Pontiac of Bobby Labonte. You saw that smoke earlier from his car. And here's what happened just a little bit ago to produce the caution flag.
Now, this didn't produce a caution flag. Sterling Marlin starts in the pits. He gets bumped by the 22 car. As Ned said, he does a 360, keeps going, no caution flag. As a matter of fact, he even took the lead in the ensuing caution flag, because here's what happened with the caution flag.
Exactly. Watch left of your screen.
Jimmy Spencer, a little bit of a bump from Steve Grissom in the 29 car, and he smacks that front stretch wall.
That's Grissom's car going by.
Got the what, aqua colored car in white. And on the inside, Spencer stays up against the wall.
The only reason we know that because when the 29 car went by, Spencer went out and shook his fist at it. That's why we know that he bumped him.
Back at Darlington, a possible problem with our 5th place car. He's on pit road. Marty, what's wrong?
Well, they weren't planning on making a stop, but as Darrell drove by, he says, fellas, I think I've got a tire going down. They were running in 5th place. How many times have we seen this, where DW at this track is just sort of laid back, slowly worked his way up, and then when it's there, when the race was over. But they did not decide to take that risk. They said, let's give up the track position now, make sure we don't give it up now or later.
Well, better safe than sorry at this place in particular. They're still cleaning up the racetrack for the incident on the front stretch involving Steve Grissom and Jimmy Spencer. Under caution, clock. Still under caution at Darlington Raceway. Back with more Winston Cup racing action in the 45th Mountain Dew Southern 500 right after this. Stay with us.
Darrell Waltrip, we said a moment ago, he came in because he thought he had a flat tire. Well, he came back in the pits and they raised the hood on the car.
And they squirted a lot of water under the hood of the car. It might have been just a precautionary manner, but his brother, Michael Waltrip, has been having all kind of problems with the Pennzoil Pontiac, and Bill Weber has a report.
Hewitt is back here. Doug Hewitt is back here, and this team has been running quite well, but obviously problems during this exchange. Doug, what happened?
Yeah, we been running a little warm, and we just didn't want to let it go any longer, so we made sure we cooled it down. Cars have a history here of getting the radiators loaded up with rubber, and we was running about 240, 250, and we needed to stop, and we've got it cooled down right now, but we're not sure if we're going to be able to keep it that way.
All right, this team was very happy with the way the car had been running up until that most recent exchange. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Thanks, Bill. We're looking at Robert G. This man is a big fan of Kenny Schrader's. In fact, He was the owner of Kenny's Bush car a while back and was hanging the sheet metal on this car until he suffered a stroke and has put him in a wheelchair. But he was on the radio to Kenny during this yellow, and the conversation went something like this. He said, Kenny, you keep driving like this, you just might win this thing.
He just might, I'll tell you what.
Tell you what, Robert came in the garage area this morning. He had a tremendous crowd of people wishing him well, trying to be very, very glad to see him back at the racetrack. Here's a car they're going to hold to try to get back in position for scoring. That's the Smokin' Joe's Ford Thunderbird, Hut Strickland. And
he's, yeah, as you say, being held. The signal is being given for one more lap. And what happened, Jerry, we saw when Jimmy Spencer stopped right past the start-finish line, a lot of cars were racing off at turn 4. We saw a big bunch of them, and they didn't know who they were passing, but they wanted to pass whoever they could because a lot of green flag pit stops are taking place, and some of those cars are being put back where they should have been as a result of those passes.
Getting set for the green flag to come out here at Darlington Raceway is the Kodiak Chevrolet driver, Kenny Schrader. Has led 92 laps thus far. Let's check in once again with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, this lengthy caution has our second place runner, Bill Elliott's crew, just a little bit concerned. The water temperature up around 250 degrees right now. Mike Green says, hey, I'm ready to get back to race speed so I can cool that water down. Normally it runs about 215 to 225.
Well, see, these cars don't run a fan anymore. They use electric fan, and evidently they don't have the electric fan on this car. They depend on the air going through the radiator, through the grill, through the radiator to cool the cars off. And on a slowdown on a caution flag, they have problem keeping them cool.
There's a look at Bill Elliott, a four-time winner here at Darlington, twice in the Southern 500, including that one time when he won the Winston Million back in 1985.
Question right now is, can he catch Kenny Schrader?
Schrader has been fast.
Look at that, 27 top 10s and 33 starts.
Green flag once again at Darlington Raceway. Lap 199 of 367.
Martin is third, Morgan Shepherd fourth, and Dale Earnhardt is fifth.
Michael Waltrip trying to go by Ricky Rudd down in one.
That would be for the 8th position. They're single file through the front 6 or 7 spots.
Bill Earnhardt, the only car in the top 5 that did fit on this caution flag. We'll see if those new tires, what kind of advantage they are for Earnhardt.
Front 2 cars pulling away. Car number 21, Morgan Shepherd. What a good run he's having today for the Wood Brothers and Sitco.
Sitting there and running in 4th place right now.
Earnhardt looks to the outside, says, I don't think so. Let's check in with John Kernan. John?
That number 21 Sitco Ford is a brand new car, Jerry. They just completed it about a week and a half ago. The first time it was on the racetrack last Monday when it was at Charlotte Motor Speedway for a tire test. Lynn and Eddie Wood both told me they thought it would be a very good car for the speaking of very good Bill Elliott trying to make a move on Schrader.
And he can't quite make it work. He had the inside line, Benny, but just couldn't quite pull it off the corner.
Could not make it work off. But I tell you, Elliott is getting around the racetrack right now.
Take a look at these tire speeds, Ned. I mean, what a difference before and after the pit stop.
Well, now it's up to 13 miles an hour difference. Earlier, we saw that there was a 10-mile-an-hour difference in the speed. Of course, now that 160 miles an hour will be dropping down as each lap goes by.
We can see the Schrader is still running a little higher down in the race, down in the corners than Elliott is.
You just joined us. Ken Schrader is our leader, has led 97 of 201 laps, and there's 165 to go here in the Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway. Starting to see some of that glare that you guys have talked about in the past here, Benny. Down in turn 1 in particular.
When the sun is out later on in the day, you go down in turn 1, you drive directly into the sun, And it becomes almost unbearable that last 50, 60 laps. As Elliott closes up right on the back bumper, just touches Rick, and Earnhardt goes by Martin. Martin is just losing the handle on that Valvoline Ford, not nearly as strong as the car was earlier on.
There's the front two. Here's Earnhardt, who has taken the third spot today. Sterling Marlin is in 5th position and looks to be on the hunt for 4th, right behind Mark Martin. Martin's the 6th car. Sterling Marlin is the 4 car. And behind them is the Citgo efforts of Morgan Shepherd, the car number 21.
So all 3 of those drivers that have a shot at that $100,000 are still on the $100,000 bonus as a result of winning one of the Weston Select Millions earlier in the year. Marlin at Daytona, Gordon at Charlotte, Earnhardt at Talladega. And if one of them can win this, an extra $100 grand.
We see Rusty Wallace. They're reporting that his car may be overheating, and we can see that he does not have the speed in that Miller Genuine Draft 40 yet earlier in the day.
And behind them, the battle for 10th position between Darrell Waltrip in the car number 17 and car number 8. A good run for Jeff Burton. The Rebestas Ford Thunderbird of Jeff Burton. And Marty, they got to be pleased with their run thus far.
Well, they do, but I'll tell you, the folks in Rusty Wallace's camp are concerned. He is reporting the temperature is going up. So exactly the thing that John Kerner was talking about before the start of the race, that rubber getting built up into the radiator, working its way in there, getting jammed in there, raising those temperatures. It's creating a problem for the number 2. Let's go to John Kerner.
Ward Burton's radioed in. His water temperature is soaring up to 250 degrees. They were a team that started the race with an extra screen across the grill. Halfway through the race, they were going to pit and pull that screen off. They've gone to a fine wire mesh. Some of the guys use a little more coarser, and what happens there is you'll get rubber through the mesh, through the screen, that actually lodges into the radiator. But Ward Burton right now having a problem with overheating.
Johnny's being shown 4 laps down in the 25th position. That's the car number 31. And as the Rusty Wallace car moves in on John Andretti, you heard Marty Reed's report a moment ago of a possible overheating problem with the car number 2. Look at the glare now. How do you see anything, Mitty?
Well, you don't see very much. And hey, folks, you saw what Rusty Wallace is seeing. Just a little bit better as we get away from the sun. See, watch me go down the back straightaway. You can see.
Visibility is pretty good right here, but he's in turn 3 and in turn 4. But even halfway down the front straightaway, it starts to get bad.
It does. As we comes off turn 4, we'll watch once again as he drives into that sun. See what happens to the racetrack? It just goes away.
And the closer he gets to turn 1, the less he's able to see. Here at Darlington Raceway, hope you're enjoying the Southern 500. Back in just a moment. Tremendous crowd here at Darlington, South Carolina, enjoying the sun and fun of the Southern 500 for the 45th consecutive year. Glad to have you with us at home. There's our leader, car number 25, Kenny Schrader, has led 108 of the 212 laps thus far. Second place car, Bill Elliott. Back in third is Dale Earnhardt, and behind him is Mark Martin. And we are being told there may possibly be a problem with the 6th car.
The same problem that a lot of cars are having. Looks like he may be overheating. He's reported to have called Steve Neal, the crew chief, and said this thing's running awfully warm.
They're riding along with Mark Martin there in the Valvoline Ford. He's a defending winner in this race, having won it a year ago.
Can't quite see that temperature gauge as to what it might be, but they're saying it's running very high.
Martin coming off the second corner here at Darlington Raceway. And that's one reason, folks, that Ken Schrader has been running as hard as he has to stay up front, because he's getting less of that rubber in the grill of that 25 car than the other cars, because he really and truly has been following anyone. As Jerry said, he's led over half the race, and that has been an advantage keeping that rubber out of the grill.
And exactly what you said, Benny Parsons. Here's the Busch Beer race recap. He's led 106 of 210 laps there. 9 leaders, 15 lead changes, 4 cautions for 31 laps. The average speed has been slowed by those caution flags to 122.541 miles per hour. Who have our leaders been? Well, Ken Schrader has led the bulk of this event. Martin, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Jeff Bodine, our pole sitter, led 6 laps. And we had trouble.
The 12 car crashed down the back stretch. He was slowed down in the first and second corner, and he was trying to get out of the way down the back straightaway, and cars going every which way. And finally, the 90 car, Mike Wallace, did a great job. He locked up the brakes and slid to avoid the 12.
And here again is what happened a minute ago to Derek Cope in the straight arrow Ford.
Once again, he was very slow down in the first and second corner. There's Phil Parsons in the Mellon car directly in front of him. And they're going to come off the second corner, and we can see that he is slow. Now watch these cars as they start going by him. And they always, something broke on the left rear tire goes flat.
And pieces start flying everywhere of rubber.
Look at Mike Wallace, Ned.
Yeah, and Darrell Waltrip also came down on the inside. A miracle that someone didn't hit Derek as he was spinning around. He was right in front of a big group of cars.
So it's the left rear tire that exploded that caused the 12 car to spin, and there's part of the tire lid on the racetrack.
You saw all the damage that tire was doing beneath that fender well on the left side. The car looks fine from that side, but folks, it's the other side that took the heavy hit. Look at the debris down the backstretch.
This is the front stretch, Jerry. Someone has picked this up and brought it over on the front stretch.
Well, we're going to get a chance for pit stops here on lap 218. We're going to show you 3 of them, our triple pit split, as they come down pit road at 55 miles per hour. And let's go to Marty Reed in our leaders pit.
Well, this is an opportune moment for Kenny Schrader's team. They were looking to make it at least another 20 laps. So now this will obviously keep them in a good cycle. Everything's going real smooth. This is going to be a 4-tire chain. Let's go to John Kernan.
What an opportune time for a caution to come out for Bill Elliott. The temperature was up to around 250. Junior Johnson is now spraying water in on the radiator as Ken Schrader heads down pit road trying to cool this 11 car off. Bill Elliott is down and away. Mark Martin also with an overheating problem. Jerry, they took some tape off the grill and also took a round wedge out. Bill Weber.
Michael Waltrip, the only 2 lead cars pitting on the backstretch are in. This team for the Ford car has been very patient. Their strategy is to keep Sterling in the race. The front of the car was pushing just a little bit ago. They say the tires seem to have taken care of that problem. Sterling is away with a lightning fast stop. The 30 car still in the pits. They continue to spray water on the front of that grill. Now Michael Waltrip returns to the track.
Now here are the cars coming out of the pits. You see them as they work on it. Way up the top of your screen, there comes Rusty Wallace. He made a good pit stop, but hey, he's a lap down. He wasn't supposed to pit then. He was supposed to wait till the next time around. He maybe is so accustomed to coming in when the leaders do, just forgot. But the rule is that he needs to go to the end of the longest line. Okay, now he's coming back in.
Well, we
the overheating problem we said that he had, so he's going to cool it off.
That's why he stopped earlier, because he was going to have to stop twice anyway. Okay. So he might as well just come in, and he's going to start at the rear of the longest line anyway. And Bill Elliott's in with the hood up on that car.
Well, we had a report that he was overheating. John Kernan?
Well, what they're trying to do, besides Junior Johnson spraying water in on the radiator, they've also got another hose going in, putting water into the radiator. As the crew having a hard time fighting this overheating problem. When Bill pulled in, you could just see all the rubber buildup on the grill. And now they're just trying to get him cooled way down.
And Rusty's still in. You see Buddy Parrott there in the middle of the car working, trying to peel some of the sheet metal away if they can get some more air into the radiator. We're under caution here at Darlington the 5th time today for a spin involving the car number 12 of Derek Cope. Back with more from the Southern 500 after this. What a beautiful area here in Darlington, South Carolina. There's that massive crowd on hand for the race. And John, they're watching a whale of an event, but we got some problems with some of the competitors.
Yes, we do, Jerry. The big problem is the rubber from the tires is clogging up the grill and stopping the airflow. This is a cheese grater. As you see, the water, which represents air, pours through fairly freely. Well, we take a little cheese here. This represents the tire rubber, and it's going to clog it up. And as we try to pour the water, The water just doesn't pour quite as free. So as you can see, you get the cheese in the cheese grater clogs things up, the rubber in the grill clogs things up, and the air can't flow through to the radiator.
Hey, John, what's with that chicken?
Well, I'm going to make chicken cordon bleu later this afternoon, Benny. You want to join me?
Perfect. We'll meet after the race.
All right.
Chicken and cheese, and we can have a little fun with it, but these guys certainly are very concerned about an overheating problem as the green comes back to Darlington. Guess who's leading? Dale Earnhardt on lap 223.
11 cars on the lead lap. Kenny Wallace is 12th. He's a lap down. Earnhardt goes by him. Kenny Schrader goes by him. Keeps him a lap down.
Look at Schrader close on Earnhardt in turns 3 and 4.
I tell you what, that Kodiak Chevrolet is really working. There goes Schrader and just blows by Earnhardt.
Came off that turn, had a good run and a lot of speed. Drifts up high. Earnhardt knew he was going to drift up high, but Dick, that's been Schrader's groove all day. So
he's just going back to the groove, man, wasn't he?
Right.
Mark Martin back in 3rd spot. Number 21 and Morgan Shepherd being shown 4th. Now watch Schrader's car just stick and pull away here in 3 and 4. If he does like he did a moment ago. Earnhardt hangs on to him that time.
And this time Earnhardt hung on and just pushed Schrader down the front straightaway. And Martin, you see him move over, trying to get some air to go through the grill of that Ford to cool off the engine.
Yeah, he probably, even if he could, will not move up there too close to him right now, at least till he gets that engine cooled back down a little bit. But Earnhardt, he wants back in the lead.
Once again, you see Martin making the move down to the inside. Kenny Schrader, our leader, sits 5th overall in the Winston Cup point standings.
Earnhardt is 2nd. Martin is 3rd. Morgan Shepherd 4th. Sterling Marlin 5th. Jeff Gordon is 6th. Ricky Rudd is 7th. Bill Elliott 8th. Michael Waltrip 9th. And Jeff Burton 10th. Darrell Waltrip is 11th. Those 11 cars in the lead lap.
Rick Mast, the first of the cars, a lap down. He's been shown in 12th position. Kenny Wallace right behind him in 13th.
Dale Jarrett just passed Kenny Wallace on the last turn of the last lap and moved up into that position.
Field summary showing you some of the drivers who have had to park it, including Harry Gant, his final appearance at Darlington Raceway. And there's Brett Bodine. After they've done a lot of work on that car to get him back out, he was involved in the first incident of the day with contact with Jeff Gordon.
Rick Mast moves over and lets Sterling Marlin go by the Kodak Film Chevrolet.
Shown in 5th position. There's Mast a lap down. That's a differential. Left of your screen's your leader, Ken Schrader. Earnhardt about 3 car lengths.
The tires are going on down in the pits. I'm just told that the 28 is bought some tires for the 22 car. Elliott going by the Ricky Rudd automobile. Elliott was in the pits late trying to get the engine cooled down.
So he's just taken over 7th position from Ricky Rudd.
And guys, it's sort of a Murphy's Law in this overheating situation. You can't really slow down, because if you slow down, you don't get as much air to the grill. And if you speed up, you're going to get more rubber in the grill. So, I mean, how do you win?
You don't win.
There's our leader, Ken Schrader. After 229, as we watch this battle here in the car number 21 and 4 battling for 4th position.
And we can see that these cars are just literally inches apart. Sterling tries to get on the inside of 21 car and takes a spot away down in the 1st and 2nd corner. Takes over 4th spot.
And take a look at this dickering going on. Marty, what's going on down there?
Let's go shopping for tires. You guys mentioned it up top. This is Ken House trying to cut a deal. He needs some more rubber for Kenny Schrader. Now, they work for the same boss. Remember that Rick Hendrick is the team owner, so this is a little bit of horse trading going on.
Now, Ricky Rudd, who's the one on the left there, was a member of his crew. He's a lap down in 14th position. But Kenny Schrader leading the race, so you can guess who will get the tires.
That's some of Terry Labonte's crew members there working to try to decide who's going to get what. So we'll see who wins the battle of bargaining for tires when we come back after this. Back at Darlington, South Carolina. Car number 25, Ken Schrader, is our leader, but another car is problems with overheating, and Marty Reed is there.
I hate to sound like a stuck record, but it looks like the overheating bug has just ruined Darrell Waltrip's plans for today. They had gotten up as far as 5th. They led once before the pit stop cycle, but they were running a good, strong, clean 5th, and now he has gone at least 1 lap down, and probably will be at least 2 down before he gets out here.
Pete Peterson and the crew. Pete Wright down there. Here's another car in the pits, Ned.
Yeah, Rick Mass slowed going into turn 3. I thought maybe he had an engine problem, but apparently his tires are coming in to change. Well, no, there they go under the hood of the Skoll Classic Ford. That doesn't seem to be an overheating problem that they're looking at there, though, Benny.
Looks like a brake problem. Looks like he might have a brake problem.
Jeff Gordon goes by Morgan Shepherd, takes over the 5th position.
That's the battle for 5th and 6th as Gordon takes a spot. Here's the battle up front for the lead.
And Earnhardt is, look, he's closed up right on the back bumper. Does Schrader have a problem?
Hey, Earnhardt going by with ease almost.
It's like Schrader all of a sudden has a problem.
And listen to this crowd on their feet. Let's check in the Earnhardt pits with John Kernan.
Well, I don't know if Schrader has a problem, but just about 2 laps ago, Andy Petrie told Dale Earnhardt, hey, we're seeing a lot of overheating. Watch your spacing behind the car in front of you. Well, maybe Dale Earnhardt took that as meaning, hey, you better get around that 25 car where the clean air is. But we don't know about the Schraders. We haven't heard anything down here on our end of pit road. But Andy Petrie very concerned seeing all these other cars overheating.
It looked to me like Schrader moved over down the back straightaway like he might be trying to get some air to the grill of the car. We'll have to watch as he comes down to the front.
But as you pointed out earlier, he was sitting out there breathing that clean air. Now Earnhardt is able to do that. I don't know. Marty Reed, what's going on there with the 25 car?
Well, for the first time today, Ken Schrader's got a loose race car. He does not have an overheating problem. They're okay. Ken House got a little grin on his face when he saw us bolting down here. He said, don't panic, guys. We're all right. We're just a little loose.
That's one of the few times we've seen that car pass today.
Yes, it is.
Doing all the passing.
Indeed. He runs in 2nd position behind Dale Earnhardt.
He's been the passer, now he becomes the passee.
Exactly. You take a look at our Fram field summary. We showed you a minute ago it had been 100 races since Ken Schrader had gone to victory lane in a NASCAR Winston Cup car. That last victory coming in 1991 at Dover, Delaware.
Bill Elliott goes by Morgan Shepherd, takes a spot away, and closes in on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. And Gordon's still hanging in there in that DuPont car.
He's running in the 5th position. Elliott, remember, had the hood up on the Budweiser Ford, so he was late coming out of the pits. But now he's making up that time on the racetrack. He moves in the field.
You talk about Schrader, been 100 races since he had won a race. Ivan Baldwin, one of his crew members, bought him a cake this week that said that, had that written on top of the cake. Ivan, if Schrader can win this race, he'll probably make you eat that whole cake.
Here's another pass for position. The car number 10, Ricky Rudd, going by the 21 car of Morgan Shepherd. You got to wonder, Shepherd has lost 3 spots now in the lap and a half. You got to wonder maybe if he's being bitten by the overheating bug.
Either the car is not handling well or something, Jerry, because the Citgo Ford is definitely going back. We saw Ward Burton's car in the pits as we went over it there. He's in the pits with the hood up on his Chevrolet. Earnhardt right there.
And the 29 car, Steve Grissom. Here goes Ricky Rudd by Gordon, takes that spot away. 29 car either hit the wall down in turns 1 and 2 or blew an engine because he went down in the backstretch pits with the car smoking. I couldn't tell if he had hit the wall with the right side or...
And here's the car number 31 with the hood up. That is Ward Burton. It looks like they're adding some water to it. And that's Chevrolet aluminum, the Hardee's Chevrolet, A.G. Dillard on the machine.
And heating is obviously becoming the story of the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
By the way, for you fans, you Darrell Waltrip fans, which we know there are many of them out there, Darrell lost 3 laps during his pit stop when he was trying to cool his Western Auto Chevrolet down. He is being shown in the 21st position.
Tough break for DW. He was running in 5th spot.
Here we see our 5th place car, Bill Elliott.
And the yellow car number 30 is the last car on the lead lap. That is Michael Waltrip. The Pennzoil Pontiac. He is being shown now in the 10th position. So in the waning laps here at Darlington Raceway, there's racing all around this facility. Hope you enjoyed it. Back in a moment.
Dale Earnhardt leading the race pretty comfortably right now, but Ken Schrader, who was leading it a while ago, is fading a little bit. I don't know. I guess that handling problem. Martin, of course, has gotten around him now, taking him to 2nd place. And I think he's probably just hanging on because, as the crew chief said, he's a little bit loose right now, so he's just waiting to get another set of tires on. Jeff Bodine is going out of this. He just got another set of tires on his Exide batteries forward.
And then Sterling Marlin is beginning to reel in Schrader there. Marlin is back in the 4th position in the Kodak Chevrolet. Let's check in the Ken Schrader pits with Marty Reed.
Well, guys, you're absolutely right. They are going to hang on until the next round of pit stops. They figure they can go to lap 257 and bump on the board. We're at lap 248. They also have been delivered a set of tires from Labonte's camp, so they're ready with 1 extra set.
Well, you saw the dickering going on a minute ago. You take a look at Ken Schrader there. He started 2nd, currently 3rd.
I didn't want to see him because he was almost out of control when he came up that 4-corner car. Extremely loose at Kodiak Chevrolet. Who was that blowing by the Billy Standry?
Somebody with new tires on.
Yeah.
Let's watch Schrader once again off 4. This is where he had a handful of steering wheel.
There's Stanridge coming down on the inside. Makes the move. The Schrader a little bit strong on the straightaways. So Stanridge has to fall back in line. But once they get to the corner, those newer tires will help him pull along there again. Ooh, he gets awfully close up to Schrader.
Billy Standridge out of Shelby, North Carolina, owns his own race car. He is being shown 13 laps down in 32nd position. Talking about the car number 47 as he moves now around Ken Schrader with his fresh tires.
Yeah, Schrader did not want that car back on his rear bumper being already loose. That will loosen him up some more. And Sterling Marlin trying to get by.
Remember, Sterling Marlin spun earlier today. His spin did not bring out the caution flag, but simultaneously, within about a half a lap, we had an incident on the front stretch, which did bring out the caution flag between Steve Grissom and Jimmy Spencer.
The 9th place car, Jeff Burton, is in the pits.
First of our leaders on pit road as a position change on the racetrack for 3rd as Sterling Marlin takes a spot away.
Now 2 of those drivers who have a shot at that $100,000 are running in the first 3 positions. Dale Earnhardt leading, and then, of course, the car number 4 now.
Let's check into the back pits with Bill Webber.
Well, Jerry, the 4 Kodak Chevrolet team had an interesting theory coming in here. They didn't qualify as well as they had hoped. So when they got pitted on the backstretch, the theory was, let's just be patient all day, see who's left at the end. We're running for that $100,000. We had heard a few laps ago that maybe Sterling was going to be the next victim of the overheating problem. Tony Glover told me just a few moments ago that's not the case. They're in good shape. They've been telling Sterling all day to take it easy. Right now he's taking it easy right into 3rd place.
Well, pit stops should be coming up very shortly for the lead car, so we'll take a quick break and come back and catch those green flag stops in just a moment. Back in Darlington, South Carolina, the 45th annual Mountain Dew Southern 500, and Dale Earnhardt being shown as our leader in the car number 3, a 9-time winner at this racetrack, including 3 in the Southern 500.
John Andretti, the SVP Pontiac, about to be overtaken by Earnhardt.
That would make him 3 laps down. Benny is in 18th position, 2 laps down at the moment.
Waiting pit stops for the leaders.
I'm just going to say, and he is overtaken by the And Luke Schrader is falling back to Bill Elliott, and Elliott takes a spot away down the backstretch. Going in turn 3, that's for 4th spot.
And here is Mark Martin coming down pit road. And Schrader also in the pits. Remember, Martin has had an overheating problem. They both need tires desperately, as you see him coming down at 55 miles per hour.
24 car of Jeff Gordon following them down pit road. 3 of the top 10 cars are coming into the pits right now.
Schrader locks up the tires. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Well, Schrader overshot it just a bit. They want to put a couple of crucial wedges, but they've already taken care of that. And Gordon had to come in and get around him. You see, he's almost over the line. Let's go down to John Kernan.
Well, they spray the water on Mark Martin on the front of the car. Let's go back to Marty.
The 25 car, is he going to get out? Yes, just barely. Nice move.
And Earnhardt is coming down pit road right behind you. See on your screen, there is Earnhardt's Goodrich Chevrolet, and John Kernan is there. John?
Well, the defending Winston Cup champion is on pit road. You can see just how much cleaner his grill is, and he was able to get around Schrader and run in some clean air. Right side tires going on. They tell me the last pit stop was 15.6 seconds. Something unheard of. Well, the left side's already going on. Dale Earnhardt guns the engine 16.4. Let's go back to the back pits and Bill Weber.
And Sterling Marlin has the Kodak Film Chevrolet back here. And the crew going to work. Right side tires are on. They'll come around, jack up the left side, put on left side tires. Sterling has been running real well. No water in the front of this car. They will clean off the grill, take a piece of tape off the front, and Sterling Marlin is away and on the pit road.
And the car number 10, the tied Ford Thunderbird. Ricky Rudd is in, and Marty is there.
Yeah, so far, I mean, he is on a very quick stop here. Looks like they are going to get away under 17 seconds. Another flying stop.
Good stop for Bill Engel and the crew for Ricky Rudd. He was being shown as the leader because of the others having pitted. And Michael Waltrip just leaving in front of you, Bill.
And he just left, Jerry, as you said, and again, a heavy dose of cold water into the front of that Pennzoil Pontiac. Michael continues to battle that overheating problem, as do several other drivers.
Here's a couple of cars, 25 and 11.
Schrader just passed Bill Elliott down the back straightaway for that 5th spot. Schrader, in making that chassis adjustment.
And Rusty Wallace is coming back into the pits. I think he was in just a moment ago. And maybe he wasn't. Maybe
No, he was in the pits just a moment ago.
Well, maybe he didn't like that set of tires that they put on. He's putting on some new ones now. Sterling Marlin now getting racy with Bill Elliott.
And Sterling takes over the 5th spot.
Rusty goes back out.
I think Sterling moved into the 4th spot.
Yeah.
Earnhardt being shown as a leader. Here's the car number 25 in 3rd position. That's Tim Schrader. Smoke coming from Schrader's car.
Uh-oh. That's unbelievable. Man, this guy cannot catch a break.
Such a great car here today. First time in a while that we've seen him have what you would say a dominant car, because he's led more laps than anyone else. But then things started to fade a little bit here.
What if he's brushed the wall someplace, Ned?
Like it almost went away on the straightaway a minute ago. Here's the car number 24 and 11, Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott. What a battle Jeff Gordon has had today getting back toward the front. He's been bounced on and beat on by a couple of different competitors, and Gordon almost bites into the concrete.
It's like he's running that high groove as well.
That's 5th and 6th. Gordon in 6th position, Elliott in 5th.
See Elliott going by Billy Standridge, and just passing Standridge, Gordon was able to catch him down the front straightaway. Passes him. Well, he tries to pass him down in 1.
They are still side by side. Elliott has the high line. Gordon has to push the car down a little bit, and he is right in front of Rusty Wallace, who just came off with those fresh tires. So we'll see if Rusty will be able to go by. Rusty in the car number 2.
Yeah, Gordon goes high, and here comes Rusty just blasting by down on the inside.
Rusty is 2 laps down in 14th position.
Darrell Waltrip back in the pits once again. You can see him on the right of your screen, upper end of the pits.
Kenny Wallace goes by, Todd Bodine. And we can see that great pit stop that the GM Goodrich crew had. Richard Childress and the crew, Andy Petrie, will show you what kind of lead. There goes Earnhardt. And somewhere back there, the second place car of Mark Martin.
Earnhardt going by our pole sitter, Jeff Bodine. Bodine in the car number 7 is being shown 9 laps down, back in 28th position. And there's Kenny Schrader, unfortunately still showing some smoke from the back of that Kodiak Chevrolet. Dale Earnhardt being shown on the meter here after 266 laps complete at Darlington Raceway. Back in a moment. Back at Darlington just a moment ago, they waved the black flag at the car number 25 of Ken Schrader, and as you can see the reason, smoke boiling from the back of that Kodiak Chevrolet.
It started as just a little trail of smoke, and it has steadily gotten worse, and it's pretty severe right now. And he has to go to the pits to get it checked out and see exactly what's wrong.
Ken Schrader has only had 1 DNF in 1994, that coming up at Pocono. Currently sits 50-point standings, and he heads down pit road, and our Marty Reed is waiting on him. Marty?
Well, 8 times he has finished in the top 10 here at Darlington. His best finish was 3rd today. It looks like it might be a win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. The crew are going to make a 4-tire change, and they're looking over everything, but the front hood is not coming off yet. Now, I'm sort of baffled by this one, because the NASCAR officials are looking up underneath, guys, but they're not pulling that hood up.
The official said, wait a minute, turn it off. He said, hang on, raise the hood. Let's see where this oil is coming from.
Yeah, that's the reason he was black flagged. And so they went ahead and changed the tires while they were looking and trying to figure which end they needed to go at, whether it was the front or the rear. Now they're looking under the front to see if they can find where the oil is causing the smoke. It's either oil or grease or something getting on something hot, causing the smoke.
Marty, what have they figured out?
It definitely looks like from here that they've got an oil line, and yeah, they're going in. They're going to try and take a look at it, but we can see a pool of oil forming up underneath, and they're going to have to jack the car up. And like we said, it's just going to ruin the entire day for this team.
Frank Edwards down there beneath the car. He's the chief mechanic on that team. You see him now working beneath the hood on the car. Tough break for Kenny Schrader, who had led so much of this race, looking for his first win in almost 2.5 years.
And now, Jerry, there are only 8 cars that are on the lead lap, as Dale Earnhardt, who is leading the race in the Goodrich Chevrolet, has just put a lap on Michael Waltrip, who is running in the 9th position. There you see Michael in the yellow car. There's the 2nd place car of Mark Martin. And the 4 car of Sterling Marlin is in 3rd place. Now, where is he? Mark running all alone there in the Valvoline Ford. Here comes the 4 car. There he is.
I tell you, Steve Meal is going to wear a groove in that pit road. He has walked up and down in front of their pits. As you see some of the other cars here, they're worried about Mark Martin. There's
Bill Elliott, our 4th place car, the Budweiser Ford, as he goes by. And right behind him is Jeff Gordon, the 24 car. And I got, this kid has fought an Ilhallen race car all day long, because I know it has to be Ilhallen, because he crashed. He hit the rear of the car, and also the front had to get the toe end messed up. He's still hanging in there.
Here's Ricky Rudd in 6th position in the car number 10. In the Tide Ford Thunderbird. Good pit stop, good pit work by Bill Engel and the crew. Kept him in the top 10 today.
And in 7th position is the Citgo Ford. There he is, Morgan Shepherd in car number 21. He's been up there in the top 10. We saw him during the last run on the last set of tires he had on. Morgan lost a lot of positions, but seems to be doing okay now. Just hasn't been able to make up those positions.
And the next car on the lead lap, the last car on the lead lap, Jeff Burton and Rebecca. And I guess he's the only car in the lead lap with Hoosier tires, right?
Only car in the lead lap on the Hoosiers. Now, John Kernan, there's been some serious discussions going on in the Valvoline pits. What are they talking about?
What else, Jerry? They're talking about water temperature. Mark Martins has been running. It looks like Michael Waltrip might have just blown up out there on the racetrack. Of course, Steve Neal pointed that out to the NASCAR officials, saying, hey, how about a caution? They'd like to get Mark in, spray some water on the radiator, maybe add a little bit of water into the radiator to try and keep that car cool. But just 1 lap ago, Mark radioed in and said, Steve,
It's not fluctuating anymore. It's not rising. The water temperature is steadied out. I think we're going to be okay.
That's bad news, John. When it's not fluctuating, that means there's no water in there to make it fluctuate.
Well, that's what happened to Jeff Bodine. If you remember last week at Bristol, Tennessee, Bodine said when the needle stops fluctuating, that means we're history. And about 4 laps later, indeed, she just let go. Here's a battle on the racetrack between Bill Elliott and Jeff Gordon as they wage war for 4th spot.
Bill Elliott, another car that's running hot.
Gordon takes over the 4th position with ease. They pushed the King Schrader Kodiak Chevrolet behind the wall, still working on it for you fans who had hoped that he might win here today. He put on a gallant effort. And there's Michael Waltrip, who also had a great run in the Pennzoil Pontiac. A lot of smoke came from him a couple of laps ago as he pushed into the pits. And Doug Hewitt, crew chief, and the rest of the crew go over to see if they can do anything for it.
87 laps remain at Darlington in the 45th Annual Mountain Dew Southern 500. Back in just a moment. Back at Darlington Raceway, exciting Winston Cup racing action. Our next event will be up at Claire's beautiful Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia on September 25th, the Goodies 500. Live coverage at 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time. One of the prettiest short tracks in all of America. Well, it's not a pretty sight right now for Kenny Schrader as he has to stand and talk with one of our pit reporters behind the wall. Marty?
Kenny, it looked like this was finally going to be the year when you were going to tame this place. What happened?
I don't know. We got some kind of oil leak. You know, car run awful good all day. Last set tires was a little bit loose, but got some kind of oil leak.
Do you ever think that this day will come when, you know, it'll be there for you?
Yeah. You can't, I mean, this car's been running too good all year not to start winning.
Well, as we talk with Kenny, the 6 is skying in on the 3. Let's go out to the track.
He definitely is. We can see that he's closed the gap down to just, what is that, 4 or 5 car lengths, the difference between the 3 and the 6.
Earnhardt put a lap on Ricky Rudd, who is running in 11th place. That puts, I mean, not Ricky Rudd, that is Terry Labonte in the Kellogg Cornflakes car. That puts him 2 laps down.
You saw the interval, less than 0.6 of a second, which is about, what, 3 car lengths?
Well, if it was 0.6 a while ago, then it's 0.3 now because he has halved the distances. Greg Mast looks like he's having problems going down the back straightaway.
In-car camera with Mark Martin. You're getting the view of the rear of the Goodwin Chevrolet. He's trying to reel in Dale Earnhardt.
There are just 7 cars on the lead lap. Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, and Morgan Shepherd. Dale Jarrett is in 8th place, 1 lap down. He's the only car that is 1 lap down. Then Terry Labonte is 9th. He is 2 laps down. And Kenny Wallace is in 10th place. He also is 2 laps down. Rusty Wallace is 2 laps down in 11th place.
I want to give a call to Dale Jarrett. We heard about lap 5 of this race that he had lost his power steering. And if he's driven this whole race with no power steering, he is going to be one whip puppy when this thing's over.
I don't want to mess with him, I'll tell you that.
No doubt about that. Martin reeling down to a car length and a half for Mark Martin.
And it might be the lead. Here he comes right beside him, Earnhardt. They're coming up side by side.
Oh, it looks like Martin might have got a little bit loose as Rick Mast comes into the pits.
Earnhardt held him off in turns 1 and 2. Let's see what Martin can do with it down in the east end of the racetrack. 3 and 4. We told you Michael troubles after having a great run today. He's now standing with Bill Webb.
It was a great run for Michael Waltrip and Michael Woodhouse. Well, you know, everybody's running a little hot. Seems like everybody else can leak water out and come in and get some more and run all day long, but you know, our deal didn't work that way. It went up in smoke, so you know, we had a good run going, obviously, but it wasn't meant to be. Say hello to Ernie and tell him, you know, we're thinking about him, and everybody back in Owensboro. Kind of a snotty day, to say the least.
Michael Waltrip finished for the afternoon.
Michael's not his usual jovial self. I don't blame him.
No, he did have a good race car and had a good run going, and then have to park it. That's disappointing.
Mark Martin is just, I think we see him moving over down the back straightaway. Evidently that run he made on Earnhardt got the water temperature going up again, and he decided, look, I'd rather finish this race than to go up and take a chance on trying to take the lead and blow this thing up. Watch as he goes down the square. Now Earnhardt moves over to block the air going in the grill of the car. That Earnhardt is so sneaky.
Martin pulls back within about a half a car length as you look at our Napa field summary. Under the cars that have fallen out, where your favorite drivers are running, and Martin once again pulls to the inside. Not as much to pass, but as you said, Benny, to get a little fresh air in that grill.
He did it down the front, and Earnhardt pulled over in front of him.
We should expect pit stops from the leaders in about 6 laps. So we have a car that is tagged the wall. We are told the 43 car, John Andretti, has bounced off the barrier. Right in front of the leaders, he got his Darlington stripe on the STP Pontiac, and that's Earnhardt and Martin rapidly reeling him in. 75 laps to go. Green flag pit stops coming up in about 4 laps, and we'll come back and cover them in just a moment. Stay with us. Back at Darlington Raceway, we have an incident in turn 2 that occurred right in front of our leaders. The car number 52 of Brad Teague out of Johnson City, Tennessee, has taken his Ford into the concrete. Heavy damage. Caution flag waving, and here comes the car number 77 trying to get a lap back.
And he will not be able to do it on Dale Earnhardt, our leader. And we can see that the 52 car, the left front tire is flat. He's dragging the racetrack. He did hit the wall with the right side.
A couple of cars have made pit stops. Jeff Gordon had made a pit stop while we were away, so that put him a lap down. Dale Jarrett had made a pit stop. That puts him 2 laps down now.
Jeff Burton also made a pit stop. He was in the lead lap. He's now as a lap down.
Let's take a look again, see if we can show you what happened to bring out this latest caution flag.
I can't really tell what happened. We just see him up against the wall where he's made contact with the right side.
I believe he had a tire go down, didn't he?
It could be the left front tire went flat on the car that caused it to go into the wall. We can see some pretty heavy damage to the 52 car. Here comes the leaders. Earnhardt, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott.
Let's go down to John Curtin in the Earnhardt car.
Dale Earnhardt pulls in. They were going to pit in about 5 laps. 6, 11, and 3. Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt on the bottom as you look at the screen. All should take 4 tires. Earnhardt complaining the car a little bit tight. Well, they've made an air pressure adjustment. Mark Martin, his car was also tight. He was also having an overheating problem. They'll run in and spray some water into the grill. Dale Earnhardt, the pit work already done. He's down in the way. A great pit stop by Bill Elliott's crew. He's down in the way, as is Mark Martin and also Morgan Shepherd. And let's go to the back pits with Bill Weber.
And Sterling Marlin is a lonely man back here. The only car in the lead lap, but he's got plenty of company now as the crew goes to work on the Kodak Chevrolet. Just 4 tires and fuel, the same velocity they've been running all day. The car is just about perfect. They will not change the chassis. The left side tires are on. The fuel is in. Sterling Marlin waits. $100,000 pit stop maybe either way.
1994 winner of the Daytona 500, Sterling Marlin in the Kodak Chevrolet, getting his service from Tony Glover and company, keeping himself on the lead lap. We're under caution here at Darlington for the 6th time today. Back in a moment. Under caution and a lot of action taking place on pit road. Let's go to Bill Weber first. Bill?
Sterling Marlin went back out on the track, radioed in. He was having trouble with the steering. They believe it was a power steering problem, perhaps a leak. He came in, they opened the hood, the power steering, closed it up and sent him back out. We'll see what happens.
Well, trouble in the backstretch over there for the car number 4, but we've seen a number of pit stops here in the front stretch, guys, for a couple of cars.
The 10 car's been in, the 11 car's been in. Both those cars overheating, working, trying to get them cooled off.
And Ricky Rudd is back in again. Let's go to the pits and Marty Reed.
This is the 3rd time they've stopped for this overheating problem. Take a look, if we can get a shot right at the very front of the grill work. They have added 3 holes. They took a drill about 3 inches in diameter on each of them, and then they taped some extra screen work. That's how much they're trying to get fresh air in to cool this radiator. You can see the steam coming off. Let's go over to Bill.
Okay, the problem on the Kodak car, apparently a small pinhole in the line to the power steering. So it had leaked out. That's what was causing the smoke. They found it, bandaged it up, poured the power steering fluid in, and then sent Sterling on back out.
Well, looks like an automotive intensive care on pit road. They're trying to get these cars put together long enough to run the final laps. Back with more from Darlington in just a moment. Back at Darlington, the green flag waves under caution for 6 laps. 64 laps remain here in the Southern 500.
Well, Jeff Gordon is right at the tail end of the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt, he had made a green flag pit stop just before the caution came out. So he wants to stay out there, hope for another caution, and stay in the lead lap. There are 7 cars being shown in the lead lap. Dale Jarrett had just made a pit stop also. He is 2 laps down now.
Martin now moving down on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Earlier he had a particular steering failure, so he's been manhandling that race car. Earnhardt the leader.
Well, there are 3 cars up there. Jerry Labonte and Rusty Wallace are all 2 laps down. They're 9th, 10th, and 11th as far as their positions are concerned. Martin Shepard, however, is in the 3rd position. He's right behind them.
There's a 3rd, 4th, and 5th place car. Bill Elliott is 4th, Sterling Marlin is 5th.
Jeff Gordon has been able to pull away from Dale Earnhardt. He's got his stay out there and get a caution. He'll be right back in this thing. There's Rusty Wallace going on the inside of Terry Labonte.
He takes a 10th spot away from Terry Labonte. As you said, they're 2 laps down. Here is now Elliott now trying to make a move, but here is Mark Martin running in 2nd position. Remember, he's had an overheating problem off and on all afternoon, but right now the only thing hot about Martin is the move he made to the inside to pass Earnhardt. Maybe.
And Earnhardt's just set of tires or something. He's going to try that old move to go back on the inside.
Oh, yeah, you knew he's going to do that. Martin slips up. Earnhardt goes right back past him again. So all of that trouble I went to pass him, that son of a gun just outfoxed him.
And they have brought these people to their feet. They from 74 of 82 races have been won from the starting top 10. Hey, Earnhardt started 27th today, so that he hadn't won the race yet as Martin comes back again.
And he'll do the same thing again. No, Martin slowed down that time. He didn't go up. He learned a lesson that other time. Earnhardt bumps him a little bit, but he was not going to slide up in front of him. He knew exactly what Earnhardt would do.
And here Morgan Shepard is about caught up to this duo as he tries to get on the inside of Rusty Wallace. Rudd has caught Bill Elliott. That's moving over down the straightaway trying to get some air to the grill.
That's 5th and 6th position. Elliott in 5th. Ricky Rudd back in 6th spot. Both these cars, as you heard Benny say, are going to go on pit road, and look at the nose of that car right against that camera, that bumper cam on Elliott's car. Now he moves to the inside. Can't quite make the pass.
Right now, we can't tell if these cars are trying to pass someone or just trying to move over to get some air to go through the grill to cool the engine down.
Yeah, it could be either one or both.
Elliott now moving in on car number 4 of Sterling Marlin.
And Elliott gets caught behind the 18 car. Uh-oh. We got a little problem here, guys.
Yep. Ricky Rudd backed off very wisely.
The 24 car has called his radio on his radio to his crew and said there's debris on the racetrack.
Of course there is. He's way out in front of him in the lead. He wants a caution. The NASCAR officials haven't seen that debris yet, but can't blame him for trying.
Again, our leader, car number 6, Martin. Earnhardt runs in 2nd. Morgan Shepard is 3rd. Sterling Marlin 4th. The car you're riding with there, Bill Elliott is in 5th position, and right behind him, Ricky Rudd is in 6th spot. 7th spot, Jeff Gordon. The only car showing 1 lap down in 8th position is the Jeff Burton car.
Ricky Rudd. That is the tied Ford that we see behind Bill.
It's not nearly as far as it looks right there. The way the camera has to shoot out through a small hole out of the back bumper. Can almost be deceiving. Here's that purple car.
And Rusty Wallace certainly flying. His car running awfully well. He's being shown 2 laps down in 9th position.
And we can see when he goes down in turn 1, as he goes by, Mark Martin gets one of his laps back.
He does. That puts him only 1 lap down.
The in-car camera looking through the windshield of Rusty Wallace's car, just how poor the visibility is down in turn 1 going into the sun. Let's watch Mark Martin's car as he goes down the front straightaway. And once again, we're seeing a little bit of sprinkle. There's a little cloud cover right now, so that really helps the visibility going down in the corner.
Take a look at the manufacturer's battle. Ford dominating here. 15 wins, 19 poles, 177 points.
And Earnhardt has caught back up with Mark Martin. What a cat and mouse game we have here today. All the cars overheating, but Earnhardt is the only driver that hasn't complained at all about overheating. You run inside of Bill Elliott coming off the corner.
They are side by side for the 5th position.
But Elliott will beat him into the turn.
And all these cars will have to stop at least one more time. The race is over.
Bill Elliott has a press conference on Tuesday to announce his, or everybody feels he will announce his plans for 1995.
This battle here back for 5th and 6th position. Bill Elliott and Ricky Rudd. They are chasing our leader, car number 6, Mark Martin. And there is Mark Martin with Dale Earnhardt in hot pursuit. Next time by, it'll be 50 laps to go in the 45th annual Mountain Dew Southern 500. Mark Martin showing the way. Earnhardt 2nd, Shepard 3rd, Marlin and Bill Elliott rounding out the top 5. Back in just a moment. Back at Darlington Raceway, we're going to share some of the other NASCAR results around the country this weekend. On Friday at Eagle Raceway in Lincoln, Nebraska, late model results, Kyle Burke beating Dave Chase and John Kenny Jr. Lakeside Speedway, Kansas City, Kansas, Mike Clem over Russ Phillips and Billy Deckman. Late model competition. Featherlight Modified action up in Williamson, New York. Mike Iwanitzko beats Wayne Anderson and Charles Pastriak. Ryan Dolan taking the victory at West Liberty Raceway in West Liberty, Iowa over Steve Boley and Brian Burkhofer. And here yesterday afternoon, in a rain-shortened event, Mark Martin was given the checkered flag after 111 laps over Dale Jarrett and Mike Wallace in the Gatorade 200 NASCAR Busch Grand National Series event. There are leaders.
Someplace down there, that's not him. That's Phil Parsons in the 9 car.
Greg Saxon in that 77 car. We'll keep on moving around here. If we move far enough around, we'll find him. That camera can go faster than those cars.
That's not him.
Yeah. We're about 2/3 of a lap off. But hold that thing steady, they'll come around.
There they are. Mark Martin in the Valley Ford Thunderbird is showing the way, and he's pulled away a little bit of a margin over Dale Earnhardt.
He has pulled away a little bit. Rusty Wallace is still out in front of Mark Martin. He's passed him and is pulled out about 15, 20 car lengths. And Jeff Gordon, remember when he passed him on the field, he's also back up front. So they've not been able to catch him.
There's the 11 car and the 10 car, along with the 4 car of Sterling Marlin. They are 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Looks like the 11 and the 10 are catching the 4 car.
here's Morgan Shepherd dead in the Citgo Ford.
Having a great run here today in the Wood Brothers entry. That car, the Wood Brothers have won a lot of races here with David Pearson. And Morgan giving it a good ride, sitting there in third place right now, and not too far. He has the leaders in sight. He's about a second and a half behind him.
And we can see that Elliott and Rudd have caught Sterling Marlin. Elliott pulls down to the inside of the Ford Martin and takes the spot away. Rudd is going to try to do the same. And he does.
If we were to award the points now, we would see that Ricky Rudd would move up 2 spots. Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, and Earnhardt remaining first, second, and third.
That's pretty impressive for Ricky Rudd. That a first-year team to be fourth in the Winston point standings.
Yeah, already has a win to his credit. It is impressive.
Well, you would think there would be at least one more stop considering tire wear. How about it, John Turner? What's the strategy?
Well, in Dale Earnhardt's pit and also Mark Martin's pit, they are going to split that last 70 laps. They came in and pitted. They had 70 laps remaining to go at 35. They're both planning on pitting on lap 332. Now, Earnhardt's crew has been right in that 16-second range for 4 tires all day. Mark Martin about 17. Right now on the racetrack, Earnhardt's, what, about a second behind? So it should be quite a battle here in the pits. Let's go to the backstretch. Vince and Bill Weber.
Sterling Marlin is going to play follow the leaders, literally. Tony Glover has told him, you pit when the leaders do. That's hopefully within 10 laps is what they're aiming for. But when the leaders pit, you'll see Sterling come down the back straight.
Well, there he is running in the 6th position right now. We saw Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin put a lap on Jeff Gordon there while that report was going on. Now, Jeff Gordon had run way out in front of Earnhardt at the drop of the green flag. Remember, he had made a green flag pit stop just before the last caution came out. Got him a lap down, but he was able to get in front of Earnhardt, who was leading at that time, and pulled away. But he used his tires up. Out there, he ran that car as hard as it would go, hoping for a caution. It never came. We talked about Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt maybe not running quite as fast as some of the other cars on the racetrack. They were sort of saving their tires, and as a result, they were able to come up and pass Jeff Gordon.
And we're about 4 or 5 laps away from scheduled pit stop, which should be the final pit stop. You look at Sterling Marlin right there. We'll be back and cover those green flag stops here at Darlington in just a moment. Back at Darlington, pit stops already beginning. The first of those to come in is the car number 24 of Jeff Gordon. Shown in 7th spot, 1 lap down.
And of course, he will go 2 laps down now, Jerry, as a result of that pit stop.
There's our leader, car number 6, Mark Martin. And John, what are they planning on doing?
Well, just when I make a report and tell you when both he and Earnhardt are going to pit, Earnhardt talks about coming in early. Well, he hasn't done that. Mark Martin and Steve Mill have been talking over the radio the last few laps. Mark and Steve have agreed they plan to pit now on lap 335, which is about 3 laps from now. Now, Dale Earnhardt should be, well, if we're looking at 4 tires, Dale Earnhardt coming in, should be coming in this time by for 4 tires and fuel. But now Mark Martin's crew ready and getting ready for what should be their final pit stop.
I wouldn't think anybody would want to put 2 tires over here. The way these tires go away, it'd be just giving it away.
Earnhardt coming in right now.
Dale Earnhardt brings the Goodrich Chevrolet down for what should be the final scheduled stop here on lap 333 at 55 miles per hour. He's headed for you, John Turner.
And at 55 miles an hour, it is seemingly taking forever for him to get down the pit stall number 1 right at the exit of pit road. Dale radioed in. Remember, his car is now been running loose, and also the water temperature. So Earnhardt having a little bit of a problem with the water temperature. They will make an adjustment along with air pressure. Mark Martin will be coming up pit road very, very shortly, we're told. Right side's already on, left side's coming up. Dale Earnhardt's crew hard at work. Mark Martin's crew awaiting the arrival on pit road as Mark has entered pit road. Dale Earnhardt is down and away 18.3 seconds. Mark Martin is in, the leader for what should be his final pit stop of the afternoon. Mark through it. You can see there's a little bit of steam coming from the radiator, from the grill of the car. Remember, he's been fighting an overheating problem for most of this race. Right side's already on, left side's on. Let's go to Morgan Shepherd's pit and Marty Reed.
And they're 11 seconds into this stop and just getting the left side tires on. We're watching the clock. He's in 3rd place at the beginning of the sequence. He's out of here, and the only way this crew is going to go faster is when Benny Parsons buys dinner.
drivers in the back pits.
And Sterling Marlin is in here too, the final stop for the Kodak Chevrolet. Sterling's been complaining in the last few laps that the car is tight, so they'll make a chassis adjustment. The left tires are on, the fuel is in. Sterling Marlin waiting to go. They clean off the front grille. A little trouble with the left front, and the car's away to John Turner.
Bill Elliott is in. The 4-tire change. Left side's going on. Junior Johnson spraying a lot of water into the radiator. Elliott, a fine pit stop, is down and away. But you can see just a little bit of steam. And now Ricky Rudd is on pit road for what should be his final pit stop.
Bill Eagle and the crew going to the right side of that car. And Benny, they really are paying a lot of attention to that windshield.
Boy, I tell you what, these fellas have all been. Look how hard he's revving that windshield, trying to get that thing as clean as he possible as he can, because he knows his driver's going to need all the visibility he can get with that sun down in turn 1. And Jeff Bodine is just blowing up down in turn 1 as I say that.
A lot of smoke from the pole-sitting car number 7. As you see Ricky Rudd's car headed back on the racetrack. There's the car number 3, Earnhardt, and there's the car that Benny just commented on. Exide batteries forward, slowing with smoke from behind it. Jeff Bodine must call it a day.
Now, I'll tell you who's going to, Kenny Wallace comes in the Haviland Ford. Who's going to prosper by this latest round of pit stops is Jeff Gordon. Remember, we saw him get lapped there, and then he came in the pits right after that. Okay, he was out there for about 4 or 5 laps, running a couple of seconds a lap faster than the leaders. He's back in the lead lap now. And if he could get a caution, that'd put him right back in here again. Good strategy on the part of Ray Evernham and them, if they can get the break they need.
Saw Jeff Bodine taking this car to the garage area. There's Dale Earnhardt. Kenny Wallace had 4 tires changed. He is headed back to turn 1. There's Earnhardt. He is being shown in second position. Where is Mark Martin? Well, there he is right there, coming out of turn 4.
And there's Jeff Gordon that Ned was talking about right in front of Mark Martin.
But he's been on those tires, as I said, 4 or 5 laps longer. He isn't going to be able to stay there long. He needs a caution right now if he's going to get one to stay in the lead lap.
Going by the Loy Allen car number 19, the Hooters Ford.
And Mark still pulling up down the straightaway, trying to get air in the grill of the car. And look at that debris on the camera. And watch this car as it goes down the front straightaway. There's a little overcast down in turn 1 right now,
which is really helping him as far as view is concerned.
He goes high, and here we'll see if Martin just slides right up by him. Out of turn 2, they are side by side, but Mark will have the advantage in turn 3.
Dale Earnhardt stopped first. He wanted to put pressure on that 6 car. He wanted to stop early and put the pressure on the 6 car, make a great pit. But they fooled him. They came in the next lap and really didn't pay any attention to the 3 car. They were concerned about their own problems and really didn't get caught up with what kind of pit stop the 3 car had.
And there's Rusty Wallace. He's 2 laps down now. Remember, he had gotten in front of the leader. Mark Martin. Is he blowing up?
He's blowing down the back straightaway.
A puff of smoke from behind the leader's car, number 6. And he's still under power, but apparently slowing, because here comes Jeff Gordon by, here comes Earnhardt by, and Mark Martin pulls the car down the left and will slow down just 26 laps from the checkered flag. The defending Southern 500 winner has apparently had an engine problem.
I would imagine he burned the piston because the car's getting slower and slower. Overheated, that's generally what happens. We can see.
Let's go to John Kernan.
Well, guys, I didn't want to tell you this earlier, but about 4 laps ago, Mark Martin radioed in and told Steve Neal, he said the motor is not going to make it. But of course, the motor's been running very, very hot. We can see steam coming out of the radiator on that last pit stop. And Mark had just radioed in, as you guys saw when he slowed down, he radioed in and said, guys, it is all over.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it really is. He ran a gallant race.
Mark led 105 of 341 laps here at Darlington. With 25 to go, he comes coasting down pit road and will come to the attention of Steve Neal. Now what about the Winston Cup point situation? He was in second position, 201 points back, but Rusty Wallace only 2 points back.
So Rusty Wallace will take that spot away in the second spot if he can finish the race. As Earnhardt trying to put Gordon the lap down and does it down in turn 1.
Now Gordon will move up into the 6th position as a result of Mark Martin falling out. So now there are just 5 cars on the lead lap.
That moves the 21 car of Morgan Shepherd in the second spot.
He's probably about 3 seconds or so behind. I'll put my trusty stopwatch on as he comes around this time. Earnhardt crossing the start-finish line now. Here comes Morgan Shepherd now, and 2 and 14 seconds.
That's back to the car number 21, and right behind him is Bill Elliott. There's an interval. You see Elliott 3.7 seconds back, Rudd 9.8, and Marlin over 13 seconds back in 5th position. They're the only 5 cars that are on the lead lap.
Elliott come up on Morgan Shepherd. He senses the possibility of victory here. He wants to get in second place, and he's working on it. Coming off of turn 4, he's going to make the pass.
Takes over that second spot, got the car a little loose going in 3, but stood on the gas and away it went. And they're pushing the 6 car back to the garage. Laps. Folks, is there enough time for Bill Elliott to run down Dale Earnhardt? There he is.
There is Earnhardt, our leader. And let's go down to Marty Reed, who's caught up with Mark Martin.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a double for you this weekend, but what happened out there?
We burned it up. It was overheating, and it finally burned it up. Labonte team did a great job. The pit stops were great. Goodyear tires are working good. We were looking good. It's just too hot.
Still too tough to take?
Ain't never been tough for me.
Mark Martin, he loves it here.
Well, it was tough for him today, and here's a guy that's won 5 out of the last 6 times he's been here, but it just wasn't to be today. You can tell he was totally spent and physically and emotionally exhausted. Back with the final laps from Darlington after this. Stay with us. Back at Darlington Raceway, laps are winding down. 16 laps remain. If the race ended right now, we would have a shuffle in the point standings.
Rusty Wallace would gain 1, Martin would lose 1, Rudd up 2, and Irvin would back 1.
And if you look at the points 6 through 10, Kenny Schrader, who had such a tremendous start today, would lose a spot. Shepherd and Elliott. Elliott continues to climb. 5 races ago, he was in 15th spot, and now he would be in 8th position. Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon rounding out the top 10.
And I see the blimp has found the leader, or the helicopter, I should say.
Yep. Bill Elliott has picked up on him. I don't know if Earnhardt has eased off a little bit to try to save his tires for the end, but Bill Elliott has cut the lead down to less than 8 seconds. There he is. You see just 1 car between them. That's Strickland. What do you think the strategy is on Earnhardt?
Well, Ned, I think only Dale Earnhardt knows. I asked Andy Petrie, his crew chief, if Dale had kind of slowed the pace down to save his tires. In fact, I told Andy that that's what you guys were speculating during the commercial break. Andy looked at me, he says, gee, I don't know. I hope so.
That's what Ned was talking about. It looked like Earnhardt might have just slowed down to save the tires all that he possibly could, because he's got 16 more laps, and he's not going to get any more tires. I mean, what he has is all he's going to get.
Yep, if he has any chance of winning the race, which he certainly does have. But Bill Elliott, meanwhile, is driving his heart out. He's using his tires up now. He has no choice but to do that. He's got to run as hard as he'll go and hope that Earnhardt's using his tires up too. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Earnhardt's hoping Elliott's going to use his tires up and they're going to be gone by the time he finishes. Well, he's probably going to catch him because we got 15 laps left.
Yep, he is definitely gaining. No question about it. He's got it down under a second now.
And once again, we'll watch Bill Elliott as he goes down the front straightaway and drives into that sun. And you'll see why all these folks are paying so much attention trying to clean the windshield, because that is the visibility as he drives down in turn 1.
Now, if Earnhardt has been backed off a little bit, he can't afford to back off anymore. He's got to go now.
0.6 of a second. That's all it is between our leader, Dale Earnhardt, and Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott has been overheating just like Mark Martin all day, but that car is overheating right now. It is on fire. Wow.
Elliott's best finish is second at Talladega. Has not won in 1994, and again a full puff of smoke out of the back of the 11 car.
He's alongside. He's trying to take the lead, and he has him down the back straightaway. Will Earnhardt try to come back next?
Slides high. Earnhardt will try to drive about under him. There he is.
There's Earnhardt trying to get it back in turn 4 and can't quite do it. Elliott slams the door, and with 13 laps to go, Awesome Bill leads at Darlington. Elliott now pulling away by 3-4 car lengths.
Bill Elliott has always had success at this race. The first time he came here, he ran well. And this is the place that he won the $1 million. Remember, he won the Southern 500 with all that pressure back in 1985.
And he had a smoking race car that day. That car was smoking some. I think it was a problem, but
John Kerner, what's Earnhardt's problem?
Well, Benny, the car just is not handling. We don't know if it's the tires or if they're just off a little bit on the setup, but right after the pass, Andy Petrie got on the radio and told his driver, Dale Earnhardt, said, Dale, think about the big picture. In other words, if you finish second, that's great, because the big picture is that $1 million plus championship that's awarded in New York at the end of the year.
Well, that's some kind of decision to make. Do you really go all out and go for that $100,000 bonus that you got here today? Or, you know, save it and go for that million?
I guess a million's about a little more than 100,000, but
yeah, it's more than $1 million, too.
Once again, maybe some tire smoke out of the back of that 11 car going down in turns 1 and 2.
The lead is kind of stabilized right now, but I would say that Bill Elliott, he has a lead that he's not going to run the car as hard. Not run the car as hard as he would trying to catch Earnhardt. I can't see the gauges, and I really don't know which one the water gauge is.
Yeah, it's hard to see which is which.
Elliott now pulling away to over a second advantage over Dale Earnhardt in second position. You know, in the spring here, Elliott set on the pole for the Trans-South 400 and ended up finishing third. Had his best finish early in the year. Of course, he bettered that at Talladega with a runner-up spot.
Faster his car is than Earnhardt's right now.
Oh, it has been a while since Bill Elliott has gone to victory lane, though.
I remember it well. November of 1992 in Atlanta, one of the best races I've ever seen in my life. Oh, there he was, right on the screen.
That was an incredible race, wasn't it? There's the leader. And he's pulling away now, close to 2 seconds, a second .8. Over the Goodrich Chevrolet.
But that's the question. Will Bill Elliott's car last? Because they've been trying to keep it cool every time they stop. We've seen Junior Johnson spraying the thing down. They've had the hood up in the middle part of the race.
Crowd on their feet. The Budweiser crew standing on the wall. Junior's over there perched on the wall, watching and waiting with their fingers crossed. It has been a long time since this crew's had something to celebrate about. Bill Elliott is not backing off whatsoever. 2.3 seconds, and he's 7 laps away from his first win in almost 2 years.
Junior, don't get so excited. Obviously, he's not.
No, you don't see Junior get excited too often. Sits there and watches and hopes that thing hangs together. Morgan Shepherd has dropped back pretty far. He's not a threat to either right now. Still a strong third.
Ricky Rudd in 4th spot. Sterling Marlin in 5th position.
And the 2 car, Rusty Wallace passes Jeff Burton to take over the 7th spot.
They're a lap down.
Jeff Burton in the Rebecca's car is the highest running rookie here today. And he needed a good run because Nemechek in the 41 has been gaining on him in the rookie points.
And here they are, Nemechek in 2nd spot, Grissom, John Andretti, and Mike Wallace, the top 5.
They're being given the signal 5 laps to go, Jerry, as they came by that time. Now it's 4.
Bill Elliott's been in a great mood all week. Maybe he knew he had such a good race car here at Darlington. A lot of speculation that he'll make an announcement early next week on what his plans will be for 1995.
This is a good way to start, huh?
There's the nighttime winner here at Darlington, Dale Earnhardt.
3.5 seconds. Elliott just keeps increasing the lead.
there is definitely smoke coming from behind the car number 11 of Bill Elliott.
Coming up on John Andretti, who is running in 16th position. A couple of cars we haven't mentioned today is Hut Strickland. He's hanging in there in 14th position, and Phil Parsons having a good run in the milling car. He's running in 15th position.
Bill Elliott has been the top point producer in the last 6 races. He has 4 top 5 finishes. Marty, what's the deal? The car number 11 continues to smoke.
I'll tell you what, Mike Beam gave me the best answer like this. Hey, it's too late to worry about that now. Just go.
If there is smoke, it's not really severe. Wallace has got a lap and a half to go.
Exactly, less than 3 miles away from his first win in almost 2 years. Awesome Bill Elliott. Started 9th today in the Budweiser Ford Thunderbird. White flag. And listen to this crowd, the 8-time most popular driver in NASCAR. Trying to hang on to get his first win. Earnhardt runs in 2nd spot. Morgan Shepherd 3rd, Ricky Rudd 4th, and Sterling Marlin in 5th position.
He can almost coast around now and make it, Terry.
Yeah, if it blows up now, he could probably coast to the start-finish line.
45th annual Southern 500 comes to a close, and Bill Elliott takes the win as he waves to the crowd. And beneath that helmet, he has got to be smiling. Yeah, get that net down so you can wave to those fans. One of the most popular drivers in NASCAR, and boy, are they celebrating in the pits. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Well, a nice smile on your face. You got to be happy. Long time coming.
Yeah. I tell you, it's been a long time. These boys done a good job, and you know, everybody's put a big effort into the motor guys. Jeff and them done a good job, and I just thank the Lord it's over. You know, finally won.
Well, fellas, I think it's called a beer bath, and I think you know what brand it is. You okay? Mike Beam, he's won. Happy crew chief.
Obviously very emotional, Mike Beam. They have worked so hard, and they have taken so much grief from so many people about not having this car. And listen to this crowd react to Bill Elliott. There is also Bill Elliott. They're on their feet as he will make the left-hand turn and head to victory lane. His first win since November of 1992.
As to say, that was awesome, Bill. He did a great job. He kept the car when it overheated. He backed off, kept the car cool enough. Junior, Mike, all the crew did their job.
Was the car out of gear? They pushed the car backwards so they can get him back and now headed toward victory lane. And here are the results. Elliott, of course, our winner. Earnhardt, Shepherd, Rudd, Marlin in the top 5. They're the only cars on the lead lap.
Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, taking 6th and 7th. And there we see Brad Teague in 30.
42 cars started. Joe Nemechek having trouble early on. And Harry Gant, 41st and 42nd.
There again, his last Southern 500.
Let's go down to John Kernan, who's standing by with an extremely happy Bill Elliott.
Well, just an extremely tired Bill Elliott. He gets a drink of Gatorade. And Bill, last time we were in victory lane together was in Atlanta. Man, it's been a while.
I'll tell you what, it's been too long, guys. You know, I got to say one thing. The good Lord was with me today because this thing did everything wrong. It ran 260 degrees of water temperature. The clutch is out of it, everything, and it still finished. I mean, that's all there was to it. It was just my day.
How, you know, we talk about guys toward the end hearing noises and stuff. How closely were you watching that water temperature?
Well, they'd been running earlier in the race, halfway it was running 260 degrees, and I've never had a car run that hot and finish the race. And they kept putting water in it, and it kept cooling down, and right there at the end it was 260 again, and it stayed together. Like I said, somebody, good Lord, was with me today.
All right, a very happy Bill Elliott climbing out of his car in victory lane, Jerry.
Let's take a look at the point standings here, John. Elliott takes the victory. Dale Earnhardt moves away in the point standings. Rusty Wallace 2nd, Mark Martin 3rd, Ricky Rudd 4th, and Ernie Irvan holds on the 5th position. 6 through 10, Ken Schrader, Morgan Shepherd. Bill Elliott jumps 2 spots to 8th. Jeff Gordon 9th. And they are certainly celebrating in victory lane down there, and rightfully so, as Bill Elliott, at 38 years of age, picks up his first win in almost 2 years. For Bill Weber, Marty Reed, John Kernan, Benny Parsons, and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punch, once again saying Awesome Bill was awesome today. Congratulations to Bill Elliott, and so long, everyone, from Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina.